Yep.
We're live.
All right. Hello, everyone. It's Kim from K&RP here in southeastern Manitoba. It is a beautiful sunshiny day, which means it's kind of like the you know what? Here, it's currently minus 21, but feels like minus 32 with the wind chill, which means it's minus 6 Fahrenheit, but feels like minus 26 with the wind chill. Burr. You know. Yeah. Look at the beautiful ladies here today. We got Beth and doing a Twiggy impersonation, and Miriam and Becca, and we're here to show you how we're going to do these interesting snippet rolls, because we're all going to do it different. You know that. All right, Beth, making you big.
Okay. I have a snippet roll. It's just something fun that you could have on your desk. And I have 2 or 3 snippet rolls around here. This was given to me, and I've always thought a snippet roll was something that you have on your desk that you can cut off a piece of it and use it in your art. And this one was given to me by Margaret Lovinger, and she did both sides, so I have a choice to use which side I want to use on this.
Oh, but how do you decide? That's brutal.
Well, I don't have a problem, except that this one stays on my desk a lot, and it's just more or less too pretty to look at. But I have another snippet roll over here, if I can find it real quick, that I made last year. Oh, this is kind of a snippet roll, and but today I'm going to be doing bits and bobs, and I got a whole bunch of bits and bobs. But this is a one of those spools that you get, and I did text paper, and I glued 3 or 4 different kind of text papers together, and I put them every which way on the strip, and I got this to tear off at a moment's notice when I need a piece of text paper. It's lovely to have on the desk.
Wow, what a great idea.
I use it all the time. And I'll look around for another snippet roll that I have that I thought I had over here, but it's here somewhere probably. But anyway, I am going to do bits and bobs, and I also have a jar of leftover things on my desk for the past 2 years. Anything that was left on my desk and I didn't know what to do with it, I just, instead of putting it back in the button box or whatever, I just stuffed it in here. And I'm going to be pouring this out here, and you guys will want to be present to see me pour this out, because look at all the stuff in there that we're going to use. And I've got wax seals, pom poms, stickers, ribbon, beads, you name it, it's in here. This is going to be fun to use on my snippet roll.
Oh, for sure.
It's going to be fun. And I prepared a new wooden spool, and this is what I'm going to put my snippet roll on today as soon as I get it finished.
Awesome. All right, Anne, making you big.
Okay. I have a variety here of things. This one is packing tape that I just use to clean things off with, and I keep them on this paper towel holder. And then I forget I have them. But you can just add it to things, kind of like you would washi tape, but it's not sticky anymore because the back is covered with paint. It started with cleaning off gel plates that I couldn't get clean otherwise. And then I had scraps of ribbons, these wild ribbons from India. And I didn't want to try to put them back on their spools. And there's one little piece of fabric. I just stuck it onto big double-sided tape. And that way, if I need a piece, it's already taped and ready to go. I did the same thing with strips of denim, and they're just plain right now, but they're also on double-sided tape. And then I'll add things to it. And tea-dyed muslin, same thing, just scraps. So you can just stick it onto tape, and then you've got it ready to go.
Just checking. You've got all that stuff on double-sided tape. Like, what if you're going to do some slow stitching? Do you remove the tape? What do you do?
I wouldn't do slow stitching on these probably, because this is really strong tape. I would not put this tape through my sewing machine or sew on it by hand.
Yeah, that's the carpet tape, right?
Yeah, I think this is carpet tape. I'm not sure about the blue one. It's a different kind of double-sided tape, but it's not like crafting tape. It's more
Right.
like industrial use tape.
Right.
So I would glue things to it probably, or
Mhm.
glue threads to it, or yarn. This one is just scraps from a quilt, and I just stitched it together. And then if I want to use it, I can just use it that way, or I can add something to it. And this is the same fabrics, but I stitched it down to a piece of wide grosgrain ribbon,
Nice.
I
and
love
then
that.
started adding, yeah, it gets a little bit stronger that way, so that if you want to use it for a belly band or whatever. And then I had some little scraps on my sewing room floor of trims.
Okay, everybody's picking stuff up off the floor today,
Yeah.
guys.
It's going to be a clean
And this,
floor tomorrow.
like, this is a piece of an antique linen, and then
Nice.
just some more, and then I'll add buttons or whatever. And then we were going on a little car trip, and I wanted something to do, so I grabbed this piece of felted wool. It's a piece of a wool coat that I felted and started stitching on in the car. And what I want to do is make it like this would be a usable segment, and then I'm going to space the next one out just a little bit so that I could cut it off. So it's a super wide one.
All right. Hey, guys,
Yeah.
Candy's asking a question.
What's that?
So I'm going to make we're all going to be on screen. Give me a sec here. So
Cut
we're
it.
all on screen. Candy asks about snippet rolls. What happens if you want something from the middle? How do you get it back together when you cut it?
You don't. You just wrap it back up and tie it on.
There you
Well,
go.
it would
Or you
depend.
put
If
it
it's
in
a
the
fabric
leftover
one, I
jar.
could stitch it back together.
You could
Beth, put it
yeah.
in the leftover jar for the next snippet roll.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
There's
too.
lots of things you can do. You can mail it as Happy Mail. Send it to me. Mail it to one of us. Share with a friend.
You can just put it back together with tape or stitch it or glue it too.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Hot glue gun. I'm using a hot glue gun.
There you go. Or my 3-year-old granddaughter was here and she loved glue
Candy's going to mail it
sticks,
to me.
but she doesn't talk that well, and she kept asking her dad for blue, and he thought she meant the show Bluey. And she kept saying, blue, blue, blue. And finally said, do you want a glue stick? And she looked at her dad like, see, I told you. It was so good.
Perfect. Did
But
that help,
then
Candy?
I think this came from a kit from Jean Peter, but I could be wrong. It's a cool way to save your scraps. You just wrap them around this is an old bracelet, actually.
Yes,
What a great idea.
ma'am. I have one of those. I think I got mine's. Oh, you probably can't see it very well. But,
Oh yeah, you can do one of them three ring.
Yeah. So that's what I'm going to do for my little
right there.
4-year-old grandson. I pulled a whole bunch of ribbons and things because he likes ribbon, we found out.
Awesome.
And
All
made
right.
him one for a birthday present that he can then come and cut things off without having. I figured it's a way he could access them and maybe tie
That's
some charms
perfect.
on the end
That's
without having a
absolutely
big pile of ribbon in the floor.
Yeah,
which-
I like that. That's a
So
great
that-
idea.
That
I mean,
way,
I might
His
even
parent-
do that myself and have it just hanging here instead of having to dig through things all the time.
yeah.
All right, Becca, making you big.
Okay.
Becca's big.
I was taking a drink. I just have a strip of well, just the same crap that's on my desk. No, actually, I just stole this out of the wrapping from an Amazon package. So I just have this, and I rolled it to make it a little thicker. That's just because I don't know why. And now I am taking napkin, and I'm going to put napkin on here to give it a background. Then I'm going to just put some trash on here.
Trash.
And
Guys,
trash.
you heard it here first.
Yes, trash. I'm going to well, you guys call it off the floor, and I'm calling it what it really is, trash. And I'm going to stick it on here. And I'm not big on these snippet rolls, to be honest. I can't, like Beth just pulled them out of who knows where and showed you guys. Yeah, I don't
You need to add it to your prompts. add it to your prompt list.
I have no reason to have it as a prompt because I don't have and I'm trying very hard. But anyways, that's what I'm going to do. And actually, then I'm going to take it and I'm going to snippet right, because this is one I made recently with Dana, because again, I don't do snippet rolls. So I made this out of these little flowers that I make out of this background paper that I keep on my desk. Whenever I feel like it's about time, I then make these little flowers and I put them aside to send on Happy Mail that I don't mail. So so here, so I made this snippet roll and I put in this book, and this book is from with Kim and Miriam on New Year. This was New Year's Eve, right, ladies?
Yeah. That was our
So
New
I
Year's.
am going to make this snippet roll, and then I'm going to snip it and use it in my book.
Awesome.
There we go.
Miriam, you big hun.
Big. Okay. First of all, I have my spool.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! Oh yeah, I seen a picture of that you made. Yeah.
This was a candy packaging.
Nice.
Then this part was candy packaging, like a roll, a tube from candy.
Oh, candies. You made your own. Oh, that's
Yes.
Whoa.
I gotcha. I was like, oh, they give you candy on that? I got you.
Yes, in this one. No.
The world's biggest fruit roll.
Long bubble gum.
No, there's nothing inside. Then I took a chipboard and I made the forms here, there, and I made it. And then I put buttons on top with a glue gun, and I did some embellishment. So I have a lot of fabric that how do you say, Becca? Trash.
Trash. Sorry.
Trash.
Well, it wasn't on your floor, was it?
No, it was in another floor that I found on the street.
It's going to be a
I
giggly
threw
day.
whatever I could because it was two big bags of this, and it was dark and I couldn't see what I took. But fortunately, you see, I had some good,
Pretty.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not a lot, but I think I have things.
Ooh.
So there are a lot of, I took out some of the fabric out, and here I have, now I am cutting like in a stripe, a strip. This is gauze, but not the gauze that you put on the gown, but is the gauze that you put on a gown.
Oh, tulle.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Tulle.
Yeah.
It's not tulle, but
No.
It's netting, I think.
Netting.
Almost
Yeah.
finer.
Oh, okay.
okay.
Cool.
This is the fabric, you see. It's
Or is it chiffon, Miriam?
Oh, yeah, it could be.
I have here tulle. You see that tulle? It's more
Right.
open.
Right.
Yeah.
This is this is plasticky. This is really nice. I think that those people do like couture, and all this is for them like this. You see this? All this was there. This is satin, or maybe it's something not satin, but it's the same. And everything has a spark also. So what I am going to do is that like that. I already have my drape. It's a very big one. So what I am going to do is to do clusters, one after the others. With
Oh.
paper I have here, you cannot see because I don't have a place to put everything. So this is all my papers, all my like paper, different papers that I have. But this is not paper. I don't know why it's there. But all kind of papers and many things that I cut parts and there are other parts. And I am going to grab this one, for instance. I am going to do a circle, and then I am going to put another little circle, or from this I can do like this, and then I have buttons, and I am putting a button. I don't know yet. I wanted to sew it with the sewing machine, but I don't think it will be something useful. You are not going to see it, and for me, it will be a lot. I think I am going to do
Hands
it back. Yeah.
nice. Nice.
Okay.
All right.
Miriam, do you have a video of how you made that spool?
No, I don't. But I
Miriam.
can do it again and do a video if you want.
Sweet. That's fabulous.
You can find them at the Home Goods with ribbon on it. I got mine with ribbon.
But
Awesome.
using trash is awesome.
It is. It is. All right. I'm going to go big. Okay. So these are a couple of the snip. I don't do rolls. I usually do strips because I do paper. So these are a couple of the strips I have just hanging over there, and I forget that I have, and I should probably use more often. I've probably got about 25 of these strips
Oh, wow.
over there just waiting to be used. So
Hang
I am going
them
to,
up on a curtain rod and make them a curtain.
I just keep them on a bulldog clip and they're hanging on the wall. It just seems
Hanging around.
they're just hanging around. So I'm going to do a fabric. No, this is paper. I'll do one on this brown piece of paper here. A lot of times I just use like a 2-inch strip of cardstock, leftovers from whatever projects you've got. You've got all these long strips of paper. I just do short ones. I find I use those much more often. And then I too used a snippet strip in my New Year's journal, but I used it and made text spots with it. My snippet strip. So it was a long strip, so it's throughout the book. A few different
Wow.
pages, places. See, now I can't find them. So
I'm having a blast with this book that we made on New Year's, just saying.
I know. Like it's a lot of fun.
Mhm.
So anyway, that's a good way to use your snippet strips is just make them into text spots in your books as well as using them as the edging like Becca did. So I'm going to be doing this, and then I had an old valance or something from a friend, and it's like 1.5 miles long. So I rolled it up and I cut the top piece off where you would put the dowel through, and then you got the ruffle on top, and they're 18 inches. So I've got the rest of it, but I cut off the top hem, and I'm going to do a slow stitched snippet roll on this. So that's my kind of plan for what we're up to today. And I figured I could use this, play with it all year. And if I want to lop hunks off, I can. Or I can just roll it up and put it on a wooden spool and let it collect dust like the rest of the stuff in my studio.
But
All
it
right.
looks pretty while it's collecting dust, right?
Yeah.
That's all that counts. That's all that counts.
We lost Miriam. All right.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Hi, everybody in chat. I forgot to say hi to everybody.
Yes, welcome to everybody here. It's nice to see you. I think I've caught up with, I've said hello to everyone typing in, but you know how it goes. So of course I have bins of scrap, and I'm trying to keep it down to a low roar, but it's not happening very well. Miriam, I'm watching for you. So
Where'd you go, Miriam?
Come back to us.
yeah.
I always worry when she disappears.
I know, me too.
I didn't want to say that, but yeah.
Concerned. We should say concerned.
Yeah.
Concerned. Yeah, that's a good word.
Concerned is all
So
right.
I'm just using a canning ring for this juvenile child here.
You know, that's such a great idea. I don't have littles that come and play right now, so
Well, I thought his parents might appreciate this more than just a big pile of ribbon and yarn.
Makes it look like you put thought into it, and that it's not just your trash off the floor that you give.
hi, April, welcome.
I have like the hugest collection of ribbon ever. It's obscene. It's a bit much. And they like ribbon. I don't know what it is with kids and ribbon, but they really like playing with it.
I think it's because of the flow, like they can run around with it and it's got that bounce and you know it's okay, Miriam's messaging. I have to go see what's up.
Yeah, one of my grandkids when he was little, I never let him in my sewing studio. I tell him that there's sharp things on the floor so they don't come in, which there are sharp things on the floor. And he would stand at the doorway and he always wanted one particular ribbon. It was this one, black and white polka dots, black with white polka dots. And I have we don't live very far from the Off-Way ribbon outlet. So
that's why you have all the ribbon.
Yeah, you get industrial lengths of ribbon on a spool as low as $2.50 for like 500 or 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to live
That's why you have so much ribbon.
Yeah.
We're getting ready to have a ribbon trade. Would you like to play?
Please.
Honey, if you want ribbon, you just tell me what you want. But he loved that ribbon. And so I had a little pair of kitty scissors on the ribbon rack. Well, it's a whole set of drawers, I should say. And he knew that that was his ribbon. And so I had little kitty scissors that would cut the ribbon, and he was allowed to go get it whenever he wanted it. And he went downstairs. He was like 4. And his mother, followed him pretty quickly. And I hear her say, "You can't have that, Milo. You can't take that big a piece of Baba's ribbon." And I finally had to go down there and say, "Emily, it's okay. That's his ribbon." But he would go down and get ribbons and make them the tail on his rocket ship. What they do with it is so interesting to me.
Kids are amazing. I love kids.
I do too. The way they just think and you don't know what they're going to do while they're doing it.
I don't like kids.
You got a teenager.
Maybe you just don't have cute kids yet. That's it.
I don't have any grandkids. Yeah, I have a son. I have a son that I want to strangle. That counts, right?
How old is he?
That's why I don't like you. He's 20.
Oh yeah, 18 to 21 is like ugh for boys in particular.
Here's my trash, guys. Look at this.
Nice.
But I have cute little grandkids, so they get to do stuff.
I love my son, but he does drive me nuts.
Yeah,
he once was one of those cute kids.
Yeah.
Then he started getting stinky.
Uh-huh. Yeah, the one that liked the black and white ribbon is 11, and I think that's a hard time for a little boy.
That's pretty hard. Yeah,
they're not little anymore. But they're not big. It's like he's just stuck in kitty limbo. So
Candy had a yarn outlet by her.
Ooh,
that would be really deadly for me.
Yeah, Off-Way ribbon outlet is awesome. They had rolls of Christmas paper that were $2 a roll, but they were huge. I kept wrapping and wrapping and wrapping and wrapping, and you never know what you're gonna find in there.
Yeah, we don't have much in the way of outlet stores here. Like Jan said, they're just we don't.
Are there not the manufacturing there?
No, they don't. They don't do the outlet stores.
Some of ours aren't really outlets anymore, like the outlet malls. Those aren't really outlets.
The outlet malls have all closed down, really. It just seems crazy, that in the 90s, how crazy popular they were.
Yeah.
They were just.
But I think people figured out that most of them weren't really outlets.
Yeah, they were just manufacturing for that specific store.
We used to have one here that had a Wedgwood outlet, Wedgwood China and Waterford Crystal, and it was really an outlet.
I think the point was they started that way, and then the companies got greedy.
Yes,
and was
that's
like,
it. It's the greedy.
Yep, I really do. I think they got greedy and was like, well, we could sell these people things and pretend we're marking it down, and then, like like Nordstrom Rack, you know.
Most of that thing's never seen the inside of a Nordstrom.
Right, they're literally made for Nordstrom Rack.
We used to have an actual Nordstrom outlet. That was wonderful. But and then the landlords of the malls started raising the rent, so the ones that were really outlets left.
That's the other
I
thing.
can't believe how many of those malls just sit empty around here.
I know.
Like on 35 here in Texas, they're just empty. You know, you drive by and there's these stores, you know, and the sad thing is the towns and stuff grew up around them. Hotels grew up because they would have these bus trips to these outlet malls. So these hotels built up, restaurants, so all of that is now sitting empty too, because there's nowhere else to work because they built these things out in the middle of nowhere. You know, they bought the land real cheap, and it's just crazy to think that's just one of those things I remember. All malls are kind of going off. Well, those weren't even inside malls. I bring this up because the mall that I grew up with in Pittsburgh, they're demolishing, and it's just like, it used to be the largest mall.
I think I saw that one. It looks like an apocalyptic thing now. Is it out by Clareton and West Mifflin? Yes, we saw that. I was like, oh my gosh, this should be a horror movie set.
It's so sad because I remember, I mean, that mall was the everything, and then it started going downhill when all the kids started hanging out with them and started shooting in the malls. And that's I remember when it started to go downhill, when all the gangs started hanging out at the malls. And then which doesn't make sense for northern states should have inside malls. They shouldn't have strip malls. That's just the dumbest thing. Nobody wants to go shopping and go in and out of stores,
especially here.
Yeah, I imagine there.
Yeah, I mean, down here it makes a little bit of sense, except in the summertime when it's 100 degrees. I want to go somewhere where I don't have to go in and out, you know. And I don't know. I just don't understand why the downfall of malls. It has probably rent, but I
think online shopping has a lot to do with it.
Well, yeah, you're right, Beth. That's really where probably the downfall is.
I don't go to the mall anymore. I've never been to the mall down here.
I haven't been to a mall in at least 12, probably 12 years. I probably went to the mall when I was first injured. Because I was trying to build up strength in my arms and push my wheelchair around. So my cousin and I used to go to the mall and do the whole mall walking thing. I was mall rolling, but
sorry, that's funny.
Oh, those are tiny, Beth.
You need that. What's that theme song? Rolling, rolling, rolling.
That's right.
Yeah. Like Jan says, lots of us go to the outlet malls in the States, but since COVID and our dollar isn't worth much, we don't go.
Yeah.
When I went and visited Florida, I came back. There was a cookware outlet, and I came back with like a 24-quart pot, and because it was so reasonably priced, and like I still have it. I don't cook big like that anymore, but it was sure nice for catering and things.
Yeah, we had a restaurant outlet that serviced hotels, and they would sell off stuff once in a while. Now they have a retail location. I have like a normal one. I don't know that it's such a good deal, but they would have things like for a nickel and a dime. And I got white china that's dishwasher safe, that the bottom of it says the Ritz, because they made it for them. But you can throw it in the dishwasher is why I bought it.
Lovely.
But yeah.
Hi, Chris. Chris is working.
Those are you're just supposed to eat your Ritz crackers on those.
Yeah. Exactly.
Chris is working on
what's going on with Miriam. Did she?
She said something about waiting for her internet to reload.
Oh, okay.
So, but Chris would be here, but she's working on lesson plans. So she'll come play next week, or she'll try and come play next week.
Ooh, okay, good.
You know, I think the other thing about online shopping is it lets you compare products and prices really fast.
Yes.
Although I'm a little ticked because I'm doing that temperature blanket, and I figured it would be, hey Tony, welcome, welcome. I figured it would be quicker to order from Walmart for the yarn that I wanted, and it's not going to be here for another 2 weeks. And
Yeah, you have to be careful and look at that. Yeah, I always think of that too. Well, I used to, not anywhere. It's like, well, I'm an Amazon, so it's gonna get here faster. I'm a Walmart member. It's supposed to be here in 2 days, and then here it's from
that's
a
what it
different seller.
said. It said it's going to be here by Friday, and now I'm right.
Those are secondary sellers.
Yeah,
I have
they
a
were
piece of
they're
crochet in this bucket.
third,
I have no
yeah.
idea who did it. It wasn't me.
Huh.
That's
Lovely.
interesting. Back in you go.
Oh, I like your little birds, Becca.
Well, they're all trash. And I used my
Aw.
little punch, and I punched them out.
That's a
That's
good
awesome.
idea, though. I like
It
that.
is. It is, definitely.
New storage concept. Just hang it up on a strip.
Don't throw it
Oh.
away.
This is going to be a very interesting snippet rule.
Now, none of that on this channel. You come over to my channel to do that.
Oh, this is my channel. I have no problems here. You know.
Kim's pretty liberal about these things.
You do you know, like
I can strip anywhere I want to.
You already don't wear any pants.
That's right. I have pants on today. It's been cold. We're getting down into the 30s every day. Well, every night.
Oh, geez, we have 30 during the day and lower right now. And then tomorrow it'll be a whole 40 degrees.
Like I said, right now it's minus 26 Fahrenheit with the wind chill.
Oh.
Minus 26
Okay,
Fahrenheit.
you win.
Fahrenheit?
You win.
Oh, that's vicious, Kim. That should be illegal.
Yeah, I don't know why you're still living there, Kim.
Because we don't have earthquakes or hurricanes. You know, like.
Do they have forest fires in your area?
No, it's all prairie.
Oh, so it'd be a grass fire if they had
locally
one.
there are forest fires because we do have forests. But yeah. Yeah, Jan, I got my pants on, hun.
Probably got socks on.
I love seeing the pictures, people that were like TV newscasters and stuff during the pandemic. Some of them have come forward and go, this is what I really wore under that desk.
Yeah.
When one woman figured it out, she could sit at the bar in her kitchen, which had a neutral background, and she could nurse her baby under the counter while she was on the air.
Oh, awesome. Perfect.
I was like, that's hilarious.
That's multitasking.
Yeah,
That
for
is
sure.
true multitask. Oh, I've got the wrong lights on.
There's
I
a
hope that
will,
baby
there's a
doesn't
way.
bite her while she's on air.
I've been watching a lot of those videos where those guys are trying out the period cramps and labor pain monitor things that simulate it. And I laugh. I have to admit, I laugh so darn hard. It's brutal. So brutal.
I know. And you know what's interesting? We have babies.
They need to get one that times it with the birthing mother, and the spouse that is there with them have to wear it, and then they're going through the exact same thing. That's what I think.
Perfect.
But how helpful would they be then?
Are they helpful?
Is the spouse really helpful anyways?
Mine was. I don't know.
Aw, that's sweet.
He was.
Tony, we are playing with snippet strips today. So some of us are doing paper, some fabric. We're just kind of playing and chatting. And do you want to see one of us large up front and personal? Let me know, and I will make somebody large so you can see closer to what they're actually up to.
There, I'm nice and there. That's what I'm doing.
What
I'm
are we
I'm
doing?
gluing birds.
I like those birds.
Gluing the birds.
I think it's interesting that we go through all of that pain, and yet doctors tend to dismiss women's pain much more than men's.
Oh, I know.
Isn't that ridiculous? Like, we know pain. If we've had babies, we know pain.
Maybe they're like, you guys can give birth, so I know you can go through a lot more than what you're saying you're going through. Maybe that's it. They're like, this ain't nothing. You had a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had one doctor say that to me. I was like, well, come here. Let me kick you where you're saying it shouldn't hurt. And, we'll decide what hurts and what doesn't. Okay, dude?
Yeah.
It's just a built-in prejudice with male, even some female doctors.
Oh, I
I
thought
know.
It's like,
For a while there, I found that female doctors were much more brutal when they were doing exams than the male doctors were. And it's like, what the heck's the matter with you?
yeah.
Have
I'm
you
I'm about done with doctors, and I think I'm gonna stick with PAs. All my PAs that I've had help me out so much more than the doc. Like right now, I'm going on a week now of waiting for them to just give me a dang prescription for my UTI. And when I used a PA, she listened to me. She knew that I knew what the hell I was talking about. I've been dealing with this now for 12 years. And this guy makes me wait until the culture comes back instead of put me on something immediately.
See, they do cultures right in our doctor's office for that now.
Well, they have to let it grow.
If they're trying to isolate the bacteria, they do.
Right,
Oh,
right,
yeah,
yes.
I guess.
So, and it's just like, I had it down to where, there's two different, I hate to say this is a little much, but anyways, there's two different scents that come from it when I get them. And one is like a sweeter smell and one is like an old man's pee. That's what I call them.
Yeah.
And, and usually when it's the old man, that's E. coli. And the other one is a new one. The sweeter smell is a new one that I've been getting recently. And it's a little bit more brutal on me. And it's like, I know, and it's like the PA listened and said, yeah, she knows what she's talking about. But the doctor, darn it, he just demands to do it his way, and it's just like, I understand because I'm on them so often. They don't want me to get,
immune, yeah.
Yeah, to the antibiotic. I understand that. That's why I wait 5 days. Usually I wait 4 to 5 days and I try to fight it myself,
Yeah.
and with extra water and just flushing it out, and it works once in a while. But it's just I'm so irritated that I want to change, and I've been seeing the same place. It was a PA, and now she left, so now I'm back to the doctor, and I'm sorry, I'm frustrated because it's like,
I don't blame you.
I'm in pain, and it's just like, it's yeah. I'm just
Have you ever
frustrated.
tried an infectious disease specialist, Becca?
No, because it's very common, because I do because I get them because of the, I have
Right.
to go to the bathroom.
Right.
So, it's very a common thing.
It is. Sometimes we find, though, because we use one my daughter and I are both immune compromised because of a genetic thing. And they tend to go, oh, yeah, okay, great. Here, we know what you need. Doom, boom, done. Where, like you said, the GPs are, oh, we have to wait for the culture to come back and blah, 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 blah. And in the meantime, for you in particular, it's dangerous, super dangerous.
Well, yeah, I mean, the number one death is sepsis from UTIs for paraplegics,
Yeah.
So, yeah, I know.
My daughter's also done it with like Amazon medicine, where you can call them in and they'll go, oh, they actually listen a little bit better. And they'll say, okay, let's start you on this and then do because you can do at-home tests now.
Well,
for
my
infections?
not specialist, but my general practitioner,
Uh-huh.
she was who I was using for my UTIs for about 2 or 3 years, and I am trying to decide if I want to get starts with an M, a matador or something. It's where they take your intestines and they make a tube to your belly button and you pee out your belly button.
Yeah.
And I that's why I started using my a specialist again. Went back to a specialist to see, because they have to have so many, they have to have a track record on file and all that good stuff so that they can, they can use that for your insurance and that you need this. So that's why I was going specifically to him.
Oh.
And he said, well, I need you to every time, you need to go through us whenever you have an infection. So, to where I used to just leave a message for my doctor and tell her the signs, and she'd send me in a prescription.
Uh-huh.
So
So you're
that's
just documenting at this point.
right. Well, yeah, but it seems
Yeah.
like every time I go in to talk to him, I don't
Well,
have
don't wait the 5 days. That's the other way to beat the system.
Well, I'm learning the lesson with that. This is only my second time that he's done this to me, that with the whole
Oh.
5 days, and I will not. The first sign I'm gonna.
Oh no, it's really bad. I need it now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know we have had to play that system so often, like you're justifying things, and if you're not quote unquote normal, then they want you to be normal, and you can't be normal. Yeah, they want you to fit the little peg holes.
Yeah. And the sad thing is, it's not a lot of times not the dang doctor, it's the insurance company again running us all. And not that I am not okay with the shooting. I'm not, that happened, but I'm hoping it opens up some eyes on how frustrated people really are.
Yeah.
That's so cute, Beth.
I know. I just saw an Instagram thing where a doctor was operating on a patient with breast cancer. They called her out of the operating room to justify muscle reconstruction.
Ugh. Okay,
Like-
Beth's making you big. Beth's big.
Great.
Tell us,
Whoa, Beth, that's
Look how
awesome.
fast she is. Isn't
This
she? Can
just junk on my desk.
you are just too fast for me. I can't even get this stuff glued
I
down.
had a tray. I've got 2 trays, and I've got a jar out. And
Hey, my trash can sitting right
I
next to
spilled
me.
all the sequins out on the table. Goodness gracious!
Did you use a glue gun, Beth?
Both.
Oh, okay.
The paper's got white glue. That one got some white glue. It's not dried yet. I'll have to let it dry before I roll it up on my spool. But
That's lovely.
I'm going to add
nice.
this to my prompt list. Use a snippet roll, and I can just cut off a little square and glue it on my prompt page. But
Lovely.
you can do anything you want with them. I mean, and it's just leftovers. Just leftovers.
That is. Look at
love
that, Beth. You
And
did
some
it
of them are like 3 or 4, 5 years old, and some are just from yesterday.
If you tried to assemble that, like a little piece of it to put on something, it would take you forever.
Yeah, right. It would take me the whole stream.
Well,
Yeah.
you got your mess already started, so you might as well do several strips at a time. And I'm just using paper, just painting papers is what I'm using. You can use fabric, you can use newspaper or text paper, you can use your stapler, you can use any kind of glue, hot glue for the heavy things, and the beads and the pom poms need the hot glue. But and I've even got some leather strips on there.
Where'd you get those leather strips, Beth?
Hey, I got tons. If anybody needs any leather strips, just let me know. I've got. Where are they? Here. I've got a big jar of this stuff in every color.
Where'd you get the leather strips?
The flea market.
Those are things we do not ask.
Oh, okay.
Let's
Classified.
I don't remember. Joe brought them home. Somebody threw them out.
that.
It could be Curb Alert. It could be flea market. It could be yard sale. It could be anything. We get a lot of curb lots down here when Joe has to go and take a peek. But just anything. And this here is my personal party yarn that I made on the spinning wheel.
Look at that.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
I had some of this, and I had some rug yarn one time, and this might have been the rug yarn. This looks awful nice but I do have party yarn that I've made on my spinning wheel, and it's just it's not yarn that you can really actually knit with.
Is that why you call it party yarn?
Yeah, it's my party yarn. It looks like a party. But yeah, so anything you have, stuff all your things in a drawer, in a jar, and off of your desk, and you are ready to go for the next snippet roll. And it's easy to leave on the desk to throw stuff in, and then once a year you can make a snippet roll. And I'm going to put it on a wooden dial. We'll put it on here after it dries.
I was going to ask you how you store it. That's the next.
Yeah, that's how I'm going to store it. You can use the bead boxes. It has all the little squares, and cut. You can cut them to fit. You can do that, and then you can pick and choose which piece you want.
Just don't pick your nose.
Just don't pick your nose at the same time. There you go.
That's a good rule.
Stickers. I got all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I got all those little bits. I never want to get them out because they're a mess. But maybe that's what I should do is just start slapping them on rolls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got some pearls in here to put on. And I just keep building until I don't see too much of the paper from the background. But I don't mind this paper because it's embossed. It's pretty paper. And it was in some Happy Mail. So it's another good way to use your Happy Mail. Use it or lose it.
Happy Meal gives me anxiety.
Does it? Why?
Well, like gathering it up for somebody. I don't know what they want. So.
I know. That's why mine doesn't get mailed out. That's
Me too. I just don't do it. So, but if somebody wants something in particular, they just need to ask, and I'll send it to them.
And what if they don't like it?
Within reason.
Yeah, I need a sewing machine, and no.
You do? I have 4 or 5. You can have one.
No, I have a couple. I don't use them, but I have a couple.
Oh, okay. They're a little expensive to mail too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are now.
I know, because I sew, people say, I have an old sewing machine. Do you want it? I say, sure. The things people give you.
Oh, I know.
Have you gotten yours fixed, Kim?
No.
Oh,
The
Kim.
funny thing was,
No, don't ask again. That's what it sounded like that was.
you know what? I have been meaning to get this sewing machine fixed for months now, and I just
What's
came
wrong
across
with it, Kim?
Pardon?
What's wrong? What's wrong with it?
I have 3 sewing machines, and they're all down right now. So, I
Have
don't know.
you tried to fix them yourself? Because they're usually fixable. If
My
we can figure out what's
sewing
wrong.
machines, yeah, no, I'm just going to.
You know what? Just buy a new one. It might be easier.
It might be
But
cheaper.
you know what? The new ones don't do what I need them to do.
That's
Go to Marketplace.
I have an industrial leather machine.
Yeah.
I have like the new machines. My sister-in-law was going to give me hers. I used it for one day, and it wouldn't sew 3 layers of flannel together. And I said, no, we're not.
Wow.
I have a Kenmore machine from the 70s. That's my mother's, and that thing is a beast.
Uh-huh.
You know, all the pieces inside are metal. They're not this plastic stuff that breaks. And
Oh, Candy, take care, hon. Thanks for
I gave away
That's
my
another
Kenmore.
thing.
and
You
I
can use the
gave away
sewing
mine.
machine if you don't have too many. If you do it first, do your sewing machine like maybe to sew down your ribbons and your paper first, and then you can put your hard things on top of it. But you can zigzag all around on it, and that's another good way to hold things down. but you
Don't
can't.
zigzag through buttons though, or hard.
Yeah, you gotta
Yeah.
do it first.
You'll go through a couple needles.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
fly when they break.
They
Yeah.
And
do.
my
Oh,
original
shrapnel.
sewing machine is a Kenmore.
Is it?
Yes,
Yeah, I
ma'am.
have my mother's from all the things that she, and then when I went off to school, I needed a machine at home, and and I never bought another one. The only thing that I bought was a serger, and on my last trip back home, all the spindles broke, and stupid me, I didn't think, I just threw it away instead of just, you can buy, one I could have just, yeah, that was dumb it was fine. I was going with me everything. I didn't think I'd ever sew again and stuff
You
like
can
that.
always use glitter glue on it too for glue dots. You gotta do that
Ooh,
completely last and let it dry overnight. So like this point right here needs a glue dot. A glitter glue dot.
Definitely needs a glue dot.
I gave away my Kenmore machine. Oh man, I miss it. It was, like you said, they were Trojan horses. They just kept going and going and going.
Yeah,
and
I've
going.
got one. I've got that and my Elna and an old industrial Singer leather machine.
See now,
Yeah.
I don't sew. I'm trying to get back in, but because I bought a new machine with an on off at the hand because it was just too hard to use the regular machine. I can't use my foot. My feet don't work, so I needed to figure that out. And I tried it with my elbow. I tried it with my neck or with my chin, and it just wasn't. And it was discouraging, so I gave up. And then a couple years ago, I was talking, and Shannon bought me one that's an on-off with your hand up at which I'm sure you guys have seen. I didn't even know they made machines like that. And I found one, and I was like, oh, I can sew again. And I sewed one time on the screen. I pulled it out. The girls talked me into it. They're like, no, let's do it. So I pulled it out, and I was like, oh, we were going through a magazine, and I seen a little purse, and I was like, let's make this purse. And I made that purse, and I have it hanging in my room somewhere, and that's the last time I sewed. So I want to sew. I have tons of fabric. I love sewing. But
it must take a whole new skill set though to use your hand like that.
It was not as hard as I thought, but definitely yeah, my brain definitely, I'd have to do it some to get used to it, to like you said, to get my brain to work that way, because when you're sewing, at least the way I was taught how to sew and the way I've always used two hands and guide the fabric through, and one hand pulls out the straight pin while you're sewing so your needle don't break. And yeah, and nowadays everyone uses those clips to sew, and I'm like, oh, that's a good idea, but how am I going to take the clips out while I'm sewing through? And
I don't like those clips. I've tried them. I don't like them.
Have you? Yeah, I can't see how it has to be that's how you learned how to sew kind of thing, because I don't know how people, because I'm used to just you sew right over those needles.
Oh no, I don't do that. I don't sew over pin, not on purpose, but
oh yeah, we were taught you just sew, and then you take them out. And
really?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
we were always taught do not sew over a pin.
Oh,
it's very, very bad for your machine and the timing. The bad thing is it messes up the timing in the bobbin, and that is a hard thing to fix on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my bobbin is binding like.
You do that, and they'll break them, and it just whacks up the inside of it. You get little pieces of the needle inside your machine.
Yeah.
I can't even think of maybe one time I've broken a needle hitting a straight pin.
But it also makes it skip a stitch lots of times, which is bad for the timing too. So don't do that anymore. I like the really long,
I will be because I don't know how it will take me if I start sewing again. It will take me triple the time to make. Can you imagine how long it would take if I had to stop sewing every time I came to a pin to pull the pin out?
A lot of things you can actually use a glue stick and sew over that.
Oh, and then you get glue glunk in your machine.
Not if you let it dry. You don't. You really
Who's
don't.
gonna glue stick? Who's gonna glue stick a shirt together and then go let it dry and then go someplace? No,
Hi, Andrea.
I can't even get myself to sit down to do it
That's a
one time. You
problem.
tell me I have to glue stick it together now.
You know, I don't pin a lot of things. I just hold them and go.
Me
And
too. I'm bad for not
I only
doing.
have one hand in if I'm using the button to start.
Well, you know what though? They teach you in tailoring school that you only sew with one hand.
I didn't
Because
go to
you
tailoring
don't
school.
you
I took a
don't pull
tailoring
it. You should
class,
never
but
pull it from, you know, you see people on TV like pulling the fabric from the back. That's a big fat no-no.
no, you don't pull that's what your
No.
feet is for.
Yeah.
That's the foot pulls it. No, you never pull it through. That's you can guide it through with your hand. My tailoring class was all hand tailoring.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
oh,
That's
putting those
awful.
lines to make the collar fold over.
Uh-huh. Ooh,
That I
collars
didn't
are
like
my
that class.
nemesis. Collars and buttonholes. Ooh.
Didn't like that tailoring class.
Did you learn how to put a zipper in by hand?
Yeah, hands up. Yeah, that's how I know how to put a zipper in.
They're pretty that way.
I had our very first, I wish I could, I bet you it's up in my mother's attic. I don't know. The first 6 weeks in class, we had to do I can't think what the heck it's called. It was a book, and we had to do, I can't even tell you how many samples of stitches. Like I think the first like 50 or something was all hand stitches, buttonholes and and then the other half of the book was with your machine.
That's a serious class.
I went to fashion design school. So
Wow. That's
yeah, it wasn't, yeah. I have a degree, guys. I have a degree I can talk about that I've never used.
Yeah, but you still use it in some ways, whether you realize it or not.
Oh, I do. Yeah, for sure. Well, like I made that purse with, and I just looked at it. I knew what needed to be done. I
have never conquered pattern drafting. That's one I just.
Oh, I enjoy
that.
pattern drafting.
You know what?
I can alter a pattern. Like I can buy a pattern. If you go to the store and you're looking at patterns and you're like, oh, they don't have your size. So people call around to all the other stores if they have pattern 5427. I can buy whatever size they have and I can alter it correctly. And
that I can do pretty well, but it's the, drafting it from day one.
From scratch. That's fun. I would rather drape.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather do the draping. There we go. There's my snippet.
That's cool. Looks good, Becca.
Oh, that's pretty. See, you're using your degree right there, whether you know it or not.
There we go.
I am just basting a whole bunch of pieces down, and then I'm going to come back and do some slow stitching.
That term cracks me up for some reason.
I know.
Slow stitching, I know.
I know. Embroidery, But
somebody that was trying to start a trend came up with it.
Yeah, that's
just like the Zentangle for doodling, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But who was putting it? When I watched Carol on Friday and she said slow stitching, it's because then you're using it more as a meditative thing than because I always do things in a hurry. I like to be the road runner, right?
You and Beth could be road runners together.
So doing slow stitching, then I'm more apt to actually pay attention and go that little bit slower so that I'm not, just throwing
I always
things
thought of it just as hand stitching. Like,
that's what I call it. I mean, I call it slow stitching, I think, because that's what people understand it as nowadays. Yeah, it's hand stitching to me. Mm-hmm. Here's what I call it. It's because I embroider. My slow stitching is when I'm not pain. Oh, who said it's about the meditation? Because that's what when I embroider, I am, the biggest thing is my grandmother and my aunt always, if the back didn't look as nice as the front, you had to redo it. It's
See,
supposed
now
to
they don't care about that.
with the slow stitching, or that's when I don't care. It's like I'll just go and I'll take a piece, I'll stitch from this end to this end and have it, and it doesn't matter. I don't snip and cut and retie and start over. That's where I see it as different. Where
Like free form.
yeah. So it's still my hand stitch. I call hand stitching, and then the embroidery is when I make it. Which the sad thing is, because of this being such a trend, I don't do as much of the nice, if I poke Becca with a spork, will she pay attention? No. Hi, Flo. Well,
she wants to know where you were when she needed help altering a pattern. She was arguing with her doctor.
Yes, right. I took Jughead out for a walk.
Is Jughead your dog?
Yeah. Oh, yes. No, that's my spouse.
Ooh, Shannon's gonna slap you.
It's a good thing we're on the internet, because Flo's a little feisty with the forks.
I know, right?
That's a normal.
But she's threatening forking people.
Oh yeah.
No,
careful how you say that, though.
Yeah. It's a good thing you're an adult and you can enunciate.
Yes, I have to be very careful with that now. Sometimes things come out.
Yeah.
Trouble finding the right word. Trying to decide how much is too much.
Said it was pretty. Thanks. I was ignoring you on purpose, Flo. I was like, I don't want to talk to her today.
Your antisocial mood.
Welcome to my channel where everybody
just a flow,
and the audience is ignored.
Just a flow.
Oh, okay. Well, don't worry. I'll talk to you, Flo, if she won't.
Aw.
We'll take turns. It's like dealing with senile grandma. We'll just take turns.
I am almost a senior citizen.
I am a senior citizen.
Me too. Beth too.
I know. I'm the
young
chick.
You're the baby here.
Usually I'm not.
I had a boyfriend in high school. He was of Chinese descent. Like, his father was born in the San Francisco Bay. And every Saturday that all the cousins, the grandkids, had to take turns babysitting grandma. Because she would escape and go to the dog tracks. And then all of a sudden couldn't speak English.
Oh, all of a sudden.
Yeah. When she ran out of money, she couldn't speak English anymore. So they had to babysit her so she didn't escape to go to the dog track.
That's good.
That's perfect.
I think it was nice of the grandkids.
Oh, definitely.
And I notice, like, when I hand stitch, slow stitch, I don't follow rolls, like I'm doubling up this string to sew, and,
That's why it's free form. Let's change the name.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Let's do it. We'll start our own trend.
Yeah, because what if I want to do it fast? Then I feel guilty.
Right. And then you couldn't call it that. You'd have to
It doesn't really bother me too much.
There might be a police to
come in and knock you down, because some of those YouTubers would, some of those crazy, there's you can't call it that. That's not what a junk journal is.
Oh, those people irritate me.
It's like we can call it whatever the heck we want to call it. I mean,
those
I
people I
understand
ignore.
the differences, but geez, you can call it whatever the heck you want.
It's yours.
Mm-hmm. All of mine are art journals. I don't care if they're junk journals, scrap, smash journals. What else do they call them out there?
That's why I don't want to stream, except with Kim, because people are ugly sometimes.
Because then they just have to leave messages on Kim's. You know what?
Mhm.
You have to find your tribe, and then you just keep with those people, and then
Yeah.
and you don't care what that don't like you. You don't care about. You know, you don't care
Yeah.
what they say. It's not that I
Yeah,
don't care about them,
they
but
can.
I'm pretty because I just it's like if you don't like me, it's okay. You don't have to watch me. You know, it's okay. I'm not fighting for your views.
That's right.
I'm also, if I'm
I
on at the
can.
same time, I tell them, you know, like if Kim and I end up being on at the same time, I'm like, oh, that's why you're on, you know, go over and see Kim, or, you
Yeah,
know, if
I'm
I
the same
notice that
way.
kind of stuff.
Same
I
way.
don't
Definitely.
care. And I
Yeah.
think that's healthy
Yeah.
because
I think so too. That's the way I am too. Okay, and Andrea says it's very celebratory what you're doing, so I'm making you big so you can explain.
Okay.
Bingo.
I am making a version, my own version of this thing that I think I got from Jean Peter in a kit. But what I'm doing is taking ribbons, and I decided to add lace and yarn, and just doing this with it. Taking it, it's a canning jar ring, because I'm fancy that way.
I
And
don't want to paint it. Jeez, Anne.
I'm going to cover it up so much you won't know what's under there. And just doing that because I'm going to give this one to my 4-year-old grandson who has a birth date in March, I think, April.
Oh,
Um,
see, he wouldn't care if
anyway,
it was painted.
he fell in love with all my art supplies when they were here. And so I'm going to send him this and they can hang it up for him and he can snip off what he wants when he wants it. Because I think his parent, and he'll do it. He's very like orderly if you tell him that's the process. Um, he can have all these things to play with, but it's not a big old tangled up mess in a drawer somewhere or on the floor or all over his room or his mother's dining room or whatever, his parents' dining room.
Why
And
should
then,
his parents be any different than the rest of us?
I know, right?
well,
That's not teaching them how you really craft an art.
well, his mother is actually quite a good artist. She's particularly good with watercolor, but she has like super expensive supplies, and so the goal is that he's going to have his own supplies and hopefully leave hers alone.
Right.
Wow.
Learn that. Yeah,
Um,
that's
so when they were here, I made him an art cart where I had just markers and pencils and paint and Play-Doh and beads and everything you'd imagine. And they had free reign of it. So the kids could just go play with anything that was on the cart. And if they wanted
I
something out of the
I
sewing
want to come to
studio,
your house and play with their cart.
okay, you can. You could even be allowed in the grown-up studio if you want.
I don't know if you should let me on the grown-up one.
It's all right. You could come in. I'll clear the floor for you. But I thought this would be fun for him. And I'm thinking I might even tie like some charms or something to the bottoms of some of them.
Ooh,
But
beads.
I got to figure out a way to do it that he could get it back off.
Buttons, a string of buttons.
If you know what, if you take beads, beads with a smaller hole and use a thicker lace and pull it through, the bead would stay on there, and then he could slip the bead off.
Pony beads.
Oh, that's true. Okay, that's a good idea. Yeah, he went through beads the first day. It was kind of I haven't really seen him before because he was born during COVID, and this is the first time we've all gotten together. So,
Oh,
I,
fun.
yeah,
So
it
you got
was.
to know Nana a little bit, or Grandma, or
Oh, yeah.
whatever.
Baba. They
Cool.
call me Baba.
Baba.
Baba. And no, we are not Czechoslovakian.
I was gonna say that
Well, that's
sounds.
also Ukrainian and Polish.
It is. Yeah. It was just because the first grandchild couldn't say that, couldn't say M's. So his mother became Bobby, and we don't know why I became Baba, and it just stuck. So
Probably from bottle. You're the person
maybe.
with the bottle.
Well, Bobby made sense because it was like mommy. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it was bilingual and we just didn't know it. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
But
Well,
that's what this one's going to be. And then I might make because I have oodles of old lace and ribbon and yarn and all kinds of things I don't really need. So, or I have too much of. So that is what I'm making. And it's almost all the way around this lid, a ring rather. It's technically a ring. And then you just play with it or make things. But Thanks, Andrea. Yes, I think he is adorable. And he's a miracle baby. They lost 8 babies before that one.
Ooh.
8, I know. So
Congratulations. Yeah.
he's a little miracle. He even had a twin that didn't make it.
Oh my goodness.
So he's our little miracle baby.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So
And how old is he now?
he's 4. He's 4.5, he will tell you. He's 4.5.
Yeah.
He
Every
likes
day
the
counts.
half. He says
Every
on his
day.
next birthday he'll be 5, and then the next birthday he'll be 5.5. We're trying to say that's not how it works, honey. But but even the 3-year-old, I was so shocked. I think I've already said it somewhere. They sat for 3 hours at a table making art.
I love that. I love that.
Just doing everything, and then they decided to try one of them. This one that's 8, just barely 8. She decided to start mixing colors on the watercolors with just to try to make new colors. So the 3-year-old started, and she destroyed like 3 sets of kitty watercolors. But I don't care.
Mhm.
That's what they were for. So
Yeah.
Yep. Learning.
yep, just playing. Playing is important.
It really is.
It was fun. So
That's all
what
I
I'm doing.
do every day on my channel is play.
Me too.
Yeah. If
I
it's
don't know
not
what
fun, why
to
do it? Right? We have enough things we have to do.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Why do something? So I'm just cutting things and playing them or putting them together, and then I'll send it to him. But I like the idea of just sticking the beads on there. So anyway, the beads, I was telling you, we got out the bead boxes, and he wanted to see beads. I don't know how it came up somehow. That kid also has incredibly good taste. He kept wanting the good beads.
Yeah.
Skip the pony beads. That child wanted real gemstones.
Yeah. Oren used to do that with me when we get into my bead box. He'd want to, I don't have that many plastic ones, but those were the ones I would show him, the poly ones. He wanted the glass ones or the
Yeah.
millwork ones and stuff. And I'm like, what?
Okay.
No, you can't
Yeah.
have those ones.
It's interesting to me, though, to see a child like this one. His name's Rayford, which was my mother's maiden name. He wasn't a grabber. You know how some kids just want everything they see? Like they would just
Yeah.
take them all. No,
Mhm.
he very carefully picked out what he wanted,
Mm.
which, I don't know. It fascinates me to watch how their little brains work.
Yeah. Kids are amazing.
Like, just, we want this much of that. And, he wanted a specific amount of lace. And I have all these boxes. So they were here a couple days longer than everybody else. So I said, okay, we'll look in the boxes. And I'd open a box. And then he got into artist trading cards, which apparently he's driving his mother nuts now, cutting them for him.
Perfect.
And
Oh,
yeah.
and I would love to trade him one.
would you?
I would definitely trade him one.
Oh, I'll tell her. He would love that.
Oh, to get mail and then in the mail to be something that he's into. Woo.
Yeah.
He loves tags.
And we would all do that for him. Just you message us his address,
Oh, he would love
and
that.
I can guarantee all 3 of us will do it.
Oh, that would be fabulous.
It might take Becca a while. She's not.
He might get it when he's 14, but I'll get it to him.
That's right. I have quilts that were never finished that were intended for babies. So
Me too.
it's all good, right?
Yeah, we get it.
Thought that
Oh,
counts
that
is
would
what
be-
my mama says.
That would be so. But he only took like 3 or 4 maybe, and then he's decided his dad needed a tag, so he picked one for him. And
That's amazing. Yeah, and definitely.
okay, I'll tell him. I'll
If
tell it.
your daughter-in-law is up to, or your daughter is up to sending,
It could be one-way mail.
Yeah.
It could
Oh yeah,
be
she would
one-way.
do it. She would do it.
Even if I just sent to him, that would be fine too. Like, but I would still love to do that.
Oh yeah, no pressure on him to return.
Yeah.
If he ends up not, don't make her feel like she has to.
He's not old enough to go to the post office by himself, but I think they could stick it in the mailbox.
Oh yeah, go for a walk.
Well, I mean, if he got bored and didn't want to make him no more, I don't want her to pressure him to make.
That
But
too.
that's another teaching opportunity to teach him about money and stamps and
Oh yeah.
weight and size.
And geography. Like, I mean, if she had a
Uh-huh.
map,
Yeah, get a globe. Buy him a
yeah,
globe.
this is
Oh,
from
he
here. Wouldn't that
he
be a
loves science too. He's like into the solar system and planets and maps and
There's a lot of good science videos out there that teach kids.
mm-hmm. Yeah, he loves the moon. I made him a moon book for his birthday last year with prints.
That's cool. You should have said something. I have a book. It's a big one of those coffee table books. It's called The Moon. I would have gladly sent you stuff out of that because I'm going to hack it up and use it in my other ones that I'm playing with now.
Yeah, he loves science. It's just interesting to me how kids will just pick something and that's what they like. You know, it's
Yeah, yeah,
just got to feed it when they want it, I guess.
exactly.
Encourage learning wherever you can.
Perfect. I agree wholeheartedly. Huh.
So that's a long story of what I'm making. It's going to weigh a ton to mail it, I think.
Mhm.
Could be worse. Could be an elephant.
That's true. They left enough behind I had to mail. I told them from now on they're going to have to they're going to have a postage deposit.
Perfect. That's perfect.
Not really. If they'll fly here, it's okay. I'll mail them their things they lose.
Yeah.
It's all good. It's all good.
Oh, yeah, Beer, you stuck in here.
I think I'm almost to the point of, wow.
That's a lot of ribbons he gets to choose from.
Yep. I told you I have a lot of ribbon.
Yeah. See, like when my grands were little, I made them, those tower plastic drawer things. I filled it with all kinds of stuff. I even got Ron to cut shapes out of wood and put it in there so they could paint it or collage it or whatever. And they loved that. It lasted them a very long time.
I think especially when it's theirs and they can just go get it.
Yes, that's a big thing, right?
Yeah. His mom is actually making him an art cart this week.
Perfect.
So he has his own supplies.
That's
Which we're
such a good
hoping
idea.
keeps him out of her, $10 a pen supplies.
Yes.
Wow, it's all the way around. It does look like it could hang up now, doesn't it? Like this way, like a chandelier.
It's fun.
You
It's
see
fun.
it? It's long. That's hilarious. It could be a ribbon octopus, I guess.
It could.
Jellyfish?
Yeah. Braid some together.
That would be funny. Then he'd have to unbraid it, though.
Yeah.
I don't know. He has really good eye-hand coordination, but I'm not sure unbraiding would work. Maybe I'll make more for the other grandkids. Ta-da.
Miriam
all
is
have
talking to tech people because, she says no Wi-Fi today. She will play alone today.
Oh.
Tomorrow,
Mhm.
not going to have Wi-Fi till the 14th.
Ugh.
Ow.
Yeah.
I wonder what happened to it.
I don't know. Just all of a sudden there it was gone.
Let's see if I can get a bead through this now. What were you guys saying? Just stick the bead on the ribbon?
Yeah, if it's a small enough hole, you can do it with buttons too. It will slide up but it won't slide down because the ribbon will open up and keep it on there.
Oh, yeah. Look, I got a metal one on there.
Yeah, see? Yeah, like that.
Yeah, that'll stay on there, won't it?
Yeah.
That's not even a small hole, but the friction of it. That's a great idea.
I've done that. I've done that for my dangles on my, like at the back of my books. I put beads on that.
How do you get it through if the ribbon's not as skinny as the bead? Although I guess I have
Fold
enough.
it. Fold
Make
it.
a point. Make a point.
Or do you have a big, with a big eye that you could?
Oh, beads, you mean?
A needle.
Oh,
You
a
know, so
needle.
you could-
Oh, yeah, I have needles. Do I have needles? Yes, I have needles.
I have all kinds of different size needles that I keep in this little cup that I got from Aaron Klausner.
That's a good idea.
Guys, I'm going to go ahead and get off of here.
What? We just got
Okay.
on.
things to do.
Going.
Hang on a minute, Beth. I just have to answer Miriam, then I'll make you big. Is that
Yep.
okay?
Yep.
Already, Beth.
She's got internet on her phone, but she can't stream with it. And she sends hugs and kisses to all.
Oh, bye. Love you, Miriam.
Bye, Miriam. We're going to miss you.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to make Beth big.
Especially since she works so hard on that bowl.
This one has to dry some more because I put glitter glue on here and the dots are still wet. But this is
That
the
looks
first one.
so good, Beth.
And I used up my little bits and bobs. And I still have a jar, but I used up quite a bit.
You could probably make 7 or 8 more.
I could, but I got to use this strip first. But anyway, that's the first strip that I did, and then I did a little strip, and then I have bobby pins that I use for safety pins or paper clips. So I have put a little safety bobby pin in here to hook it on here so it'll stay. And this was the last one I did, and I really need to let it dry. It's got wet Elmer's glue on it, but that is, I just love it.
Yes. I do
And
too, Beth.
so I'm going to add a new prompt to my prompt list, and it's going to be snippets. So a snippet, and I can just cut off that much and use it on my page. Cut it off as much as you want. So I think it'll be cute, and
Cool.
and I just wrapped it around this. And this had ribbon on it, but I've used all the ribbon, and I put some fabric around on the ends, and it's ready to sit on my desk like this for whenever I want to use it.
That's awesome.
Belinda
I love
Smith,
it.
I agree with you. She said, "You're so fast, Beth."
But it's just little things, and I went down I just did it in a row. I didn't just glue one thing on at a time. I had, all the little pieces, and I would put dots of glue on it, and then I would put the beads on, and then I would do the cards or the ribbon, and there's a tassel. There's everything on here you can think of. It would be a cute game. Guess how many?
You know what you're awesome about doing is doing without thinking, and I don't mean that rude,
Yeah.
but you go down and do it, and you're really good at that.
So I do not have a problem working with a blank page at all. But anyway, it's fun to do, and I encourage everyone to make one, even if it's just 12 inches long. Make you a snippet roll today, whatever's on your desk. So,
Or on your floor. Or in your
Or on
trash.
your floor. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and I did. I picked up a handful of stuff off my floor, which means I need to get in here and run the sweeper.
That sounds like
Thank
work.
you very much for coming, Beth. That's a wonderful snippet roll you did.
So, have we decided what we're going to do?
Oh no! Before you go, let's pull a stick. Hang on.
Drum roll.
All right. This is our stick jar. So everybody out there, the first color that's chosen, that's the stick I'll pull, and that's what we're doing next week. So I have green and orange and blue and purple and yellow and natural and pink. Green. Paper dolls next week, guys.
All right.
That's
Beth's
Beth's favorite. Paper dolls.
Allie. Okay. It's official. You're on the placemat.
All right. Next Sunday is paper dolls, guys. Well, Beth, thank you so much for coming and playing. Like, you always have a different take on things. That's why we're the Feral Artist Group, because
That's right.
does their
right.
own thing. For sure.
We do well together. It's good to see everybody, and I'll see y'all in the next stream. I'll see you in the chat.
Thanks,
Bye,
Beth. Take care, hon.
I'll be back in the chat.
Okay. All right. Paper dolls next week, guys.
That's one I haven't done very much of.
So it's going to be interesting because I keep saying I lied last week that I was going to put a supply list up for this week, and I didn't get to it until this morning, and I went, oh, what am I doing? So over the next little while, I'm going to take each and every one of these sticks. I'm going to make up a supply list for it so that when it gets pulled, I can just copy and paste. So anyway, I apologize I didn't get one up for this week, but I will try and think of things that we'll need for next week. Basically, paper scraps, guys. Paper scraps. Yeah.
We need some ideas. That's right.
Ideas?
Yeah.
Go to
Paper dolls.
go to Pinterest. You
Yeah.
can get tons of ideas there. That's where I get all my ideas.
I get a lot of ideas there too.
Yeah. I have so many dang folders.
That is a rabbit hole.
Yes.
It is a rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm.
And then not only do you spend time doing it, but you have friends that share things with you as well.
I haven't been to Pinterest in a long time.
Well, because I'm learning to do watercolor, I've been looking at a lot of watercolor things to do. And our beautiful Jean sent me those little painted people and things that I tried practicing with. You know what? I'm not sure I'm a fan of watercolor. I'll be honest with you. Definitely.
Everybody thinks it is easy, but it's hard, I think.
Oh, yeah. I get mud because I don't dry anything, because I don't have a hairdryer. I really have to get a hairdryer or something here to use. But
I don't get it to run like people do, the bleed, I guess is what it's called. But and it looks, they do it and it's bleeding beautifully. And I'm like, why is mine like dripping down the page? Or
yeah.
You wet it so that it stays in this area, but it doesn't.
No.
What the heck, man? What do we do? And I don't have the patience to learn that that's what I'm doing wrong or whatever.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to learn because this is, I'm need to learn this. I'm determined. But so far, I am not a fan of watercolor.
You know what I like? I like the watercolor pencils better.
Well, I've got those too. I'm not any better with those.
I like it just because it has more control. And you can put it where you want it and then just wet it and spread it.
Wet it and spread it.
Hey,
We've had some weird things being said today. I'm just saying. And I have been so good about keeping my mouth shut.
Gold medal to you, dear.
She's just respecting her elders, Anne. She's just.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
And we're not helping.
I think we're naughtier, Kim.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen me actually let loose on my channel.
I have.
I forget to watch people. I need a schedule. I say that and I never do it.
Well, I'm not scheduled, so I used to be scheduled, but
that would explain it.
It stressed me too much. Well, not stressed. It got, because for 4 years, I did a schedule and I just I got burnt out. It was funny. I got monetized and I was burnt out. I quit streaming, and it's just like I worked all that time to get my 1,000 because I had my hours. It was getting those 1,000 people. Finally got there, and I was like, no, I'm done.
I'm done. Yeah.
But I seem to do better now if I come on because I started getting blah. So, and now when I come on, it's not like, oh, I have to get on because I'm scheduled. Now I'm coming on because, well, because I want to.
I get it. I've been thinking the same thing. It's like,
I mean, I love people that are scheduled because then I know when to go watch them. But I just, I just got.
I'm not going to change from being scheduled, but like last night, it's like I feel like going on, but Beth's running, so I didn't want to interrupt Beth. Not that but I just felt like playing online, but I didn't.
Yeah. And I found and I did that. I would have like stress or anxiety over going on, and I just have found just do it. And if people come, they come. If not, you're having fun.
That's
you
right.
know?
That's exactly it. I mean, I was past tired as well because I'd woken up at 3:30 in the morning with an anxiety attack, and then everybody, like, we had canasta wars yesterday, so the family was here, and so I was tired. That kind of also stopped me because it's like, yeah, do I really want them to see me in my natural
Your natural habitat,
right? Yeah. So I didn't, but it could have been very fun. It really could have.
Watch you do that, then you get 1,000 subscribers like immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm getting more views. I am getting more views since I stopped. For all those years, I was getting the same amount of views always for all those years. But now that I'm not scheduling it, it seems like I'm getting more and more new people, and I'm on at different times, so I'm getting different people on.
Yeah.
So
That makes sense.
yeah, it definitely is a I don't know. I feel, I just feel better about it, and I'm back to being happy me, where there for a while I was feeling really just blah, I was just blah about it all. I was just like, here I am, let's do another art page.
Well, I think it depends on why you're doing it. Are you selling products so you feel the pressure to do it? Or are you doing it because you want to?
Right. Yeah. Right. Right. or even your watch hours, are you trying to get a paycheck from YouTube, or are you not, and I don't care. It would be nice, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's the way I feel too, Becca. Like, if I get that good, then bonus. If I don't, I'm still having fun, and I'm hoping I'm inspiring people. I'm here to inspire people more than I am anything else,
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. That's and because I'm not a teaching channel, that's, I think, is good. Inspiring channel. Yeah, I'm more here to, inspire somebody to try to have fun, or try to make something look like something.
That's my goal. Make something look like something.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
Whatever that something is.
That's why
I'm shocked at how much I've made. Like, Shannon, I gave some, because every once in a while I give her a box of finished books I've made, finished art journals, or whatever we want to call them. And the last time I gave her that box, she's like, you ran out of room, because I have a shelf unit in the bedroom. She's like, you ran out of room. I'm like, no, I didn't. And she's like, yeah, I can't fit no more on that shelf. I was like, I guess you need to move your stuff so I have more room on a shelf.
Or get another shelf.
Right? I don't have no more room in my room to put in. She just needs to move her stuff. Her stuff doesn't need to be on a shelf.
Priorities, people, priorities.
For real. I mean, come on.
Oh, no.
She can stick her stuff in a drawer.
I'm assuming she doesn't do art.
No. I've tried so many times to get her to come in. One time, way back in the day, she came on one time and did like art prompts with me, and I don't even know if she finished. I don't know if she stayed on.
I always wonder, though, what a disaster it'd be if you had two really rabid makers in the same house.
Right.
You don't want to know.
You don't want to know.
Well, you and Ron are, Kim, but you're different things. So
yeah.
He makes you wonderful things for your creativity.
He does.
We like Ron. We all want a Ron.
Yeah.
Ron has a secret fan club of women.
He does. He always has.
Like Best Joe. Best Joe has a
fan.
Yeah. Does Joe make things?
No, he just will buy Beth anything, and he's just so sweet on her. He's so good to her.
That's awesome.
You mean there are husbands that won't buy things for you? Or spouses, whatever? Don't want one of those. Nope.
Right. Leave those on the corner.
Yeah, exactly. I have the opposite problem. I have to be careful what I say I want because it might show up.
Yeah.
Ah,
No,
see
I'm
Even if
that's Beth. I think Beth could say she wants or needs or sees that. That's I think what happens to her. She's always bringing stuff home with
yeah.
bags of stuff.
No, he doesn't bring things home. He makes me things like
yeah.
Nice.
I
Yeah, he's a creator. Well, I think Beth is on here. Joe or Beth, correct me if I'm wrong. He used to be a leather worker. Is that correct? Like home, not like professional, but right? I think he used to work with
again.
leather, if I remember right. Like he has a sewing machine that sews leather and all that kind of stuff.
Very cool. No, Ron does things like this for me, right? Like I get the mushrooms, and
Ooh,
then I've got
yeah.
these.
So does he turn wood? Is that what it's called?
Oh, he turns wood, but he also makes things. I was complaining that scooping beads out of the containers that I have is annoying, so he made me a couple of little things for scooping beads. Really nice.
Oh
and
yeah,
round,
yeah. I've seen those actually. Where you buy those? Those little like those for.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you have one of the wonky drawer things, Kim? Right
Yeah.
That's what I.
He makes
So I've
beautiful
got
things.
a whack
Yeah,
load of
he
these
does.
that I need to paint.
Well, I want those in full size. Can he do that?
I've got bookcases like
Look
that.
at that. Isn't that
Those
gorgeous?
are adorable.
And then he turned me a whole bunch of little vases, and I don't know what I'm going to do with those. I might start making miniatures.
Hello. You need to make like flowers, like flowers.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Put them in there.
And then, yeah, I've got lots of stuff that he supplies me with that I feel like I'm far behind in things, but, and then he turned, well.
Do you have the yes men there? They're the funniest.
Yeah, I've got my yes men. I'll grab my yes men.
What's a yes man? I want one.
Wait till you see it.
Do I
It's
sound like a little 4 or 5-year-old? I want that. I want that.
Well, Jan wanted a yes man, so Ron's brother built them for her. So they're like little, right? And they always agree. They always agree.
That's funny. That is so fun.
Isn't that fun?
So they've got magnets in them, so they repel each other, right?
Oh, is that how? Oh my goodness. It's like physics.
Yeah.
It's like science.
It's science.
So I've got a row of yes men.
That's really neat.
Yeah.
I had never heard or seen those. That's really neat.
And the mushrooms. She has these beautiful wood mushrooms.
Yeah, that one she pulled is just wow. Now, does he sell these things, or is this just for you at home?
He used to. He used to.
I've seen something kind of like that at like Renaissance festivals and eclectic type of festivals. I've gone to like a Celtic festival once, and there was these bowl makers there, and they were turning wood and made bowls and stuff.
Yeah. I've got vases. I've got probably 60 mushrooms upstairs on my bookcase.
The mushrooms, that's really
I've got
thing.
More. Like
look at those. I love mushrooms.
Yeah, we do too.
I've felted a couple mushrooms.
I've got mushrooms. Oh, look, I've got. He made me a little bowl with a lid.
Oh.
It fits really nice and snug. Yeah,
I need him too.
And my thread holders, right? So
you have to get in
I was
line,
going to ask you about that. Man.
Yeah.
Where do we find one of him?
Yeah. So it's
Kim, you could make a lot of money off him. I'm just saying.
Oh no, Becca, the thing is that shipping from here is so damned expensive.
Yeah. Well, it's getting that way. It's always been that with Canada. We've always been like, we don't want to ship to Canada. But I'm telling you, just here in America too, shipping from person to person is getting crazy. you have to think about what you're shipping. Is it worth it or is it not worth it?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's
Once
just
you
cheaper
get
to
over
buy it.
that, if it's too thick, and that started a few years ago, and I think that's what discouraged me with the whole Happy Mail, is when all you would be stuffing an envelope, and that envelope just got whatever too thick. You add one too many pieces of paper, and it, instead of it going up by cents, like it used to, it went up.
Yeah.
Now it's $3.95 just to send an envelope.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I know.
So
And
I
the
think
small
that
wooden chests. Yeah.
is discouraging for
Where are
sure.
my small wooden chests? I don't know. But yeah, I mean, vases and things. I used to have the mushrooms on Etsy years ago, and I sold a couple down to the States, and the shipping was more than what they were paying for the mushrooms.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Well, and you have to pack them because
yeah,
of
yeah. And then I wanted top hats for our Christmas decorations this year. So Christmas Eve, he brought me 8 top hats to paint and decorate for the next day to give to the kids because they get Christmas ornaments every year.
Mhm.
But yeah, I was just saying, the amount of furniture that I've got in my living room that he has made that,
Wow.
and even,
There's
he's
any young ones out there, pay attention because that's who you want to marry.
Yeah.
Well,
You don't
yeah,
want to marry one of these tech guys. No,
when-
no. They
when we
can't. What
had-
can they do for you? Fix your computer? No. You want to get somebody that can make cool stuff.
When we had the canasta wars yesterday, my grandson said, "Grammy, you think that Grumpy would, if I bought the wood and got the plans, that he would, help me make a wooden rocking chair?" And I said, "I've got one downstairs. Do you want it?" So they came and looked at it. It needs a new seat. I've started working on a new seat for it, and just too many interruptions. It's too big because I have to have it on the table for me to work. And I said, "Do you want this?" And so that went away. That was kind of nice. Huge wooden rocking chair. And but we were talking about the amount of furniture and things that are in. My dad did a lot of woodworking, so I've got like dressers and stuff that he made. My cedar chest, and my girls have cedar chests. And yeah, no, it's between stuff that Ron's done and my dad's done. There's a lot of handmade furniture around.
Do your kids want it someday, do you think?
I asked about the mushrooms. I said, with all these mushrooms, who the heck wants them? My younger daughter said, "Well, of course I want mushrooms." And my grandson's partner, she said, "I'll take them all." So the mushrooms I'm not too worried about. The little dresser jewelry box things, I think they've already got. Jan, are you still here, hun? I think Jan and her granddaughter have. Yeah. So, yep. It's not that we buy things, we make things.
That's a good
That's
thing.
good because people don't make, it's almost impossible to find a wooden something. Even when you go to the more upscale or better furniture stores,
Yeah.
even their stuff, their drawers are made of junk.
Oh, definitely.
My mother bought me real wood furniture, antique pieces, pretty much. Well, I don't know what I forget how old I am, but yeah, they're probably, she bought them when I got married. Which was only 10 years ago, but she bought them for me from an antique dealer. I got 2 sets of real wooden drawers, two, a tall and short drawer, bedroom drawers, a tall one and a short one. I don't know what they're called, but and they're real wood, they're heavy wood, and probably made in the 50s or something.
Yeah, now the antique market is almost non-existent.
Yeah,
People
yeah,
don't
to
want
find that stuff. And you can't find it down here in the South. Forget it. If you're, that when that since I've moved down here in 97, I used to go and there was, you couldn't find real wood furniture down here. Everything that I have that's wood has been brought down from Pennsylvania.
Really?
Yeah, all my pieces that are actually wood, everything else. You just can't, it's just not, I don't know. People are probably hoarding it if it is down here,
Yeah.
Or their
Oh
family
boy, a
pieces. So they're
nightstand. Yeah, no, they're not it's not a nightstand. They're chest or drawers,
a bachelor's
Mm,
chest is usually a short one, and a high boy is the tall one, depending on how
that's
tall they
silly.
are.
Yeah, they're probably shoulder height, I guess. So maybe 4 foot, I guess, the tall one.
That's
And
pretty
then,
tall.
yeah, I would say, I'm in a wheelchair.
Yeah, that helps. Yeah. Well, you want things that are short.
But yeah, no, I would say that about 4 foot. Yeah, and then the other one's maybe 3 foot. I would,
Might
that's
just be
about,
called a chest of drawers.
yeah, because the one has 3 drawers. Yep.
Yeah.
My one is 3 drawers. That's and then Shannon has the tall boy, I guess, and that has 4 drawers.
Wood's cheap
And that's both
down
of them.
there.
Yeah. Now the nowadays wood is being grown so fast and cut so fast. If you look at it, the year lines are so far apart, and that stuff
And it warps.
and it warps. It's horrible, horrible.
Yeah. And it's expensive. It's really expensive.
And it's junk. It's junk wood.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, even the plywood isn't solid wood strips anymore. They use all that glued bits of stuff.
Yeah.
Now it's not. You might get a skim coat on either side, but yeah, and it works.
Well, and you just don't have here. It's all imported because I grew up where there was sawmills, every couple miles.
Yeah.
Where I grew up. And now, now it's down to one family owns them all. It's a guy that I grew up with. His parents have been in the sawmill business and lumbering is what he does. I mean, but this guy, his dad, which eventually will be his, but his dad, he owns land everywhere, not just in Pennsylvania, but I found out they own land in Wyoming, they own land down in Florida, everywhere, and it's not just, it's lumber land. It's for the big woods.
Good for them.
So they can go clear cut and make money.
Yeah, clear cutting's so bad for the environment, though.
I said it's actually not, because it lets it grow new. Then they take down the old. If it's done correctly, they take down the old.
True.
And then it lets the new trees grow. As long as they let those new trees grow and don't, plant the junk, they let the seedlings grow up. And it seems like they do pretty good. I've seen their clear cutting, and it just is so sad when you see it because it looks so destroyed. But in the long run.
But a lot of companies now too are going back in and reforesting, which is good. But for a long time they were not doing that.
Right. Well, I think what he was telling me when I was talking to him about it, we didn't get too deep, but we talked that because I was wondering, why, I was like, it looks so bad. And he said, what you want to make sure you go into a forest that has those seedlings that those trees have dropped enough that they're going to grow what is native there.
Right.
Because that's what you want is the native plants. You don't want to bring other things in. So
no.
I don't know. I'm not a forester or whatever, but
responsible foresters just replant.
Yeah.
They're like Christmas tree farmers almost. They have rows of different ages.
Oh, right. Like I was saying, they grow them so fast. Because there's some trees that are mature in, I think, 3 years.
Yeah, but they're usually a softwood. Oaks do not grow in like 3 years.
Exactly.
Right? Like the hardwoods. And it's the hardwoods that you need for the furniture.
And they've destroyed like the chestnut.
Yeah.
You can't find chestnut trees anymore. They've gone. Now there was a bug, I guess, that came through and destroyed a lot of them, but
Yeah.
you know.
Well, that's what's happening with the ash trees right now. Yes, and not culling creates the possibilities of forest fires. Definitely. Definitely. But yeah, right now there's a green elk borer. It's in the eastern part of the states and it's making its way up. And they say that all our ash trees are going to be gone in 10 years because they
Mhm.
just and the ash trees are hardwood.
That's sad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what Debbie was saying too, that's part of the reason they're having the horrible fires in Los Angeles and California is that they didn't allow them to cut back the underbrush.
Right.
And so it's just a hotbed of fuel.
Yeah.
They were saying it was some environmental thing for some little bug or something ridiculous.
Yeah. I
Wow.
also saw a thing on our news here where there were guys going around with blowtorches starting additional fires. I'm going, what the heck? Why are people doing
Oh, that's a lot of time. That is done by firefighters because what they do is they start it from the opposite side, so they
Right.
hit each other and they go out.
Yeah.
Right. They create a firewall or whatever.
Right. Something like that. Yeah, I don't.
But yeah, some of them they're finding were arson now.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious because it's
Mm.
too coincidental that you have that many fires
Yeah.
that fast.
Well, the wind,
Yes.
I didn't realize how that wind was crazy. So I can see where they were blowing the embers. I watched this guy. He was doing a news, and he was covering. Well, I don't know if he's news, but he was covering like it was like up above, and like while he was standing there, another one started right like down the hill from him. He was like, oh, there's another one right here, and it took like 15 minutes for the firefighter to come, and the whole hill was on fire by the time they showed up.
Oh, crazy.
Because of the wind and everything, and they're so busy with everything else, and so.
And there's underbrush that wasn't cleared like it should have been. So they don't.
Well, I mean, a lot of times they don't clear the underbrush because the fallen trees become nurse logs, right? Where the seeds fall into them and they get their nutrients from the fallen tree. Like you see a lot of that in BC where there's a log on the ground and there are 2 or 3 trees growing up out of it. And yeah, nature's a very bizarre thing.
Back burning, yes, that's the
back burning. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that like where my son lives near them in Northern California, they hire herds of goats to go eat the grass on hills because they'll even eat the dry grass. They don't care.
Yeah,
but it's a way to contain it so that so that if a fire starts, it doesn't have the fuel to head towards all the towns. Plus, their houses in Southern California are just so close together. Even the multi-million-dollar houses, if you look at the pictures, they're like on top of each other.
Yeah.
Which means one goes.
Well, that's horrible too, right?
Yeah. It's a horrible disaster, that's for sure.
Really, like I feel so bad for the people down there. Wow. Like they were saying, I was watching this one fellow, and he's saying that the fire insurance there is $10,000 a year. I wouldn't afford that.
State Farm canceled. I don't know how many thousands it was right before these fires. Just canceled their insurance.
Well, and the crazy thing is that's something I was saying is I said, oh, our insurance is all going to go up. I mean, I hate that they're going through this, and I'm thinking, but the effects of it is going to hit us all, not just them. Unfortunately, the fire will affect us all.
Yeah,
every disaster does.
Yeah,
it's run. Like look at the amount of lumber that they're going to need for rebuilding, and all the tradespeople.
They'll rebuild, but I bet you. So I have a feeling they're all going to come here into Colorado.
Yeah,
they're not going to rebuild there. Nah.
Well, the other thing that happens is, when they talk about these people that have lived there for generations, California tax law is such that if like my mother's house, let's say, she can will it to me and my taxes are based on what she paid for it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so some of these people have been in those houses for 4 or 5 generations, and
Right.
they're paying tax as though the price it was worth in 1920.
Right.
Mhm.
And that's not going to happen now.
Yeah, and that's why they were able to afford it. Some of those,
Yeah.
not not like Paris Hilton, but
Right. The regular old working Joe that lived there,
yeah.
they're not going to get that value for it again,
No.
the tax
No.
break. But it's also why the state ends up without funds, is because they have
Mhm.
people living in multi-million-dollar houses that are paying taxes as though they're, a $10,000 house.
Yep. Yep.
Sounds good in theory, but
It's good for the homeowner. It's not good for
Yeah.
the state, and that's what's going on with California.
yeah, it's a mess.
Well, that's just it. The tax dollars are used for like our snow cleaning equipment and road upkeep and things like that. So I have no idea how it works with you guys when they get those breaks on the taxes like that. Like how do you
They keep
maintain?
taxing everything else, and they make everything else more expensive.
And
Yeah.
people that buy a newer house pay outrageous taxes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's our son that has the 4-year-old lives in California, and I was like, move here. I'm like, no. No. I mean,
Yeah.
the taxes are unreal. Each state has different tax rules, and theirs are.
Right.
I don't know. Is Canada that way, Kim? Does each
Yeah,
province have their
the
own?
provinces have their different tax rates. I know there's federal taxes and provincial taxes, but the provincial taxes, like for us, it covers the like I say, the road clearing equipment because we need road clearing equipment in winter, right?
Yes, you do.
So where in Southern Ontario and BC, they don't have the need for that because they don't get the amount of snow that we do. Yeah, a lot of it is loopholes. I agree, Belinda. But then again, if like Anne was saying, if it's a fifth generation house, then some of those people may be at poverty level. We don't know. Hey, Pam, welcome.
But it makes everybody else's taxes outrageous.
Exactly. And insurance too. Based on most recent assessments. Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, because we're rural, we don't have to pay taxes to upkeep swimming pools because we don't have a pool in our municipality. It goes towards libraries and the cleaning equipment and sewer, that kind of thing. But we don't pay quite the amount of taxes that they do in the city where they've got to pay for, all these.
That's here where I'm at. I am literally a house away from being in one of the largest. Well, it was. I think it's changed. It might still be, but the fastest growing county in Texas. I'm one house away from that, so my taxes were really a huge difference than my neighbors was.
Yeah.
And now this past year though, they're starting to grow too. So now, we've seen a jump in our taxes, but for the first 6 years there was a huge difference between mine and Gatton's other parent. She lives in that other county, and it's like the difference was huge, like $2,000 difference.
Yeah.
It was like that here, but we're catching up too.
Yeah.
Sadly, we're catching up. Yeah, our house gets assessed for more than any other in our subdivision because we have 2 fireplaces.
That's the other thing too, right? Like fireplaces. If you buy a house here that has a fireplace in it, you have to jump through hoops to get insurance on your house.
Oh, because
Really?
of that.
Yeah.
Wow. I asked the tax assessor, I said, I don't use either one. Does that count? Just laughed. Said, no, ma'am, that doesn't matter to us.
Yeah, because I mean, you have to have so many things in place, like the uh, concrete behind and whatever, so that it's not as much a fire hazard, because our homes are all
Oh.
frame homes, right? And it's just for insurance purposes and stuff. So if you don't get insurance, you don't get a mortgage, right?
Right.
So, yeah. Reevaluations of home.
That's
every
what
2
somebody
years.
was saying in California, that their house was damaged in a previous storm.
Yeah.
Not burned down like these are. It's taken them over a year and they still haven't gotten a permit.
Wow.
But can you imagine now what it's going to be like?
Oh, that's crazy.
I know. Bureaucracy. It's interesting. Here, our real estate taxes primarily fund schools.
Yeah, here too. And then here, because it's rural, we've got school buses, right? The kids are bused to, a lot of places. In our
Yeah, I bet
town,
out there you don't have many walkers, do you?
well, you can be bused up to grade 3, I believe. After that, you have to walk.
Really?
Unless you're 2 miles away. 2 miles?
Wow.
Something like that.
Our school is on the highway, so they're you either the car riders, or you take the bus. There's no walkers.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess some kids do walk, but they're not supposed to, because they have to. There's no sidewalks.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, we don't have sidewalks.
Yeah, my neighborhood doesn't have. I'm in the country. I have no sidewalks.
No, we got ditches.
Mhm.
And it's fun watching the kids.
You know what they say, snitches end up in ditches.
Yeah. Well, it's fun watching the kids going to school, stomping on the ice and falling through and getting wet, and oh, those poor kids. I mean, our kids did it too, but it's
Well, but you went to school uphill all the way. And came home
barefoot.
Barefoot all the way?
Yeah,
barefoot.
Uphill in the snow.
Yep.
Yep. That's our generation for sure.
Mm-hmm.
We couldn't claim the snow part in Arizona, though.
Yes, you did. Y'all did. It didn't matter if you had snow or not. You claimed that you.
Oh, snow in Arizona, they'd just cancel school if it was much of anything.
It probably.
I remember in high school it snowed once, and they let us out of class to go outside in it.
Wow.
It's an event. Atlanta got snow this past week, though.
Yeah.
Which is unusual. They canceled theirs. Our schools were canceled this week. I think it was every single day right after the holidays, which is kind of funny. But a lot of our schools, even though we live in the city, a lot of them are out in the county where it's not safe for the school buses to go.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
they have to cancel everybody's school. I saw a video of a school bus that lost control on a street because it hit ice. And I was like, okay, people, if you wonder why they cancel school, just watch this.
Yeah, see, it's a bit. We get occasional cancellations because of that. But it's not snow days and stuff. It has to be really snowy, blowy in order for the buses not to run here.
Are your roads cleared quickly, though?
No.
Mm-hmm.
No? Oh.
No, it might take a day, depending.
Do the buses have snow tires?
I don't know.
Our buses always had chains. They would put chains on in winter. They would have the chains on the tires.
I mean, when my kids went to school, at least twice a winter, the bus would end up in the ditch.
I would get a new bus driver.
We did. We did.
My kids had a bus driver once that they came home all excited because she'd done intentionally did a donut on a road.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I was just gonna say that when I was in high school, we didn't have seat belts or anything. And there was his name was Mr. Brown, and he was a substitute bus driver, and he was so fun because he knew where the humps in the roads were. So we'd encourage him, go faster, and he'd hit those humps and then the back, and then you'd go all the way in the back of the bus so that when you hit that bump, you'd go flying out of your seat and stuff.
Yeah.
And so we used to love him. He's now the mayor of the town.
He
No,
was so
I'm not
popular, he
kidding.
ran
Really
for
is.
mayor.
He won this last time.
Pam says she hasn't gotten too much snow this year. She's only had to shovel 2 times. The other time it snowed, didn't really go anywhere, so didn't shovel and it melted. Nice. Ron uses the leaf blower to clear some of the snow because it's nice and light.
Oh, that's a good idea.
But like that's how he cleans the vehicles. Sometimes the snow is really wet and heavy. We call it heart attack snow because it's just
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the heart attack snow. Yep.
We have to hire someone to do it now.
Yeah.
Oh no,
We
no.
can't do it.
He just entered a contest for getting a remote control snowblower.
Really?
And I can't remember who makes them, but you can program it like you do the Roombas or whatever.
Oh yeah.
So he's so excited. He goes, he's got all plans. I hope he gets it because it's worth
I've
about.
seen it's probably the same as the remote lawnmowers too.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
have remote lawnmowers too.
We can't even get the dumb Roomba programmed. I can't imagine what we do with a
Okay, what do you need?
snowblower.
Oh yeah, we've got a Roomba. Its name's Pluto.
Okay.
So anytime I drop stuff on the floor upstairs now, here Pluto. Like it's our new puppy.
Does it come when you call?
No, but it's our puppy.
That's a good pup. Yeah, we have one, but we haven't gotten it programmed. So we tried. We'll try again.
Yeah.
I had a Bob. Came out with the Roomba back 10 whatever years ago, and it was supposedly specific for pets, like it was extra duty for that. So it's the Bob. And what was I saying about my Bob? Well, gosh darn it, my brain just went. I hate it when it does that.
Oh, it's frustrating.
So I have we're one room to another, the transition. I had a transition from my kitchen to my living room, and when we bought the house, the living room, they had put hardwood in, and the kitchen, they have like a linoleum, I think, something like that in there. In the transition, of course, the living room then is a little bit higher. Well, Bob would get stuck on that transition. He would just get stuck there. And so we had to get rid of Bob because he was dumb. That's what we got rid of Bob because
special, Becca.
Okay. He was special. Yeah, he was special, all right. But yeah, we had to get rid of Bob, unfortunately. He worked very well but for some reason it was like that's where he always headed. Is like, why don't you do the rest of the room? No, it was like, I'm gonna go this way and then I'm gonna come back and then I'm gonna go right to that transition. It wasn't like with the smart ones where you could, nowadays you program them and can tell them where not to go and stuff. So it'd probably be different, but that used to get me so mad. It'd be like, you did nothing, Bob. Time.
Our Roomba is run by our Alexa. Like,
oh, nice.
I can call it if I have to.
Well, that's nice.
But I would have to tell it to do the room because each room has a name, right?
Right.
But still.
I have a friend that had a Roomba. Again, it was one of the original ones. And the darn thing, she said, every day it gets stuck underneath a bed. And she said, and it turns itself over. She said, now how does that happen underneath the bed?
That's weird.
So she finally, they upgraded. They were so tired of that. They ended up upgrading because it would get stuck under somebody's bed. You know, somebody is,
Yeah.
you know, spare room's bed, their bed, the master bed. She said they called it Rosie. Rosie would go under there and just end up under a
Like
bed.
Buffy's robot, right, Rosie?
Yep, exactly.
Maybe it was so smart it knew where it could go and not have to work.
Right.
Hey,
Maybe.
that works. I like that. No,
That's what I would have did. I would have went and laid under a bed.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
The first
Mhm.
one we had just went into one corner all the time. And then it had such a tiny little tank for the dirt that it was like, this is
Oh
a
yeah,
joke.
yep.
well, that's the thing I'm finding is, the tank's pretty small. But
My sister, she had a shark, which she loved unless I was there. And when I was there, the darn thing would go under my chair and get stuck.
oh my, yeah.
Like it would just bounce back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So she couldn't run it when I was there because for whatever reason it found my chair and would sit under and just boom, 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 boom. You know.
Yeah.
It liked you.
I was like, yeah. Well,
Run-
my cat likes me. My one cat, Luna, she thinks that my chair is part of me. You know how cats come and rub up against you?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
She comes and rubs up. You know, she like rubs her head up against my wheelchair.
Really? Aw,
I think she thinks it's like an extension of me. I guess.
it's your legs.
Yep. Yep.
Hey, did you know that there's a new set of laws or regulations about traveling with a wheelchair?
No.
It's part of
What
what
is it?
Pete, what's his name, got pushed through. I hope they keep it. My daughter was telling me that there's all kinds of things about how they handle wheelchairs now, and if they
Oh,
damage
thank
it, what
goodness.
they have to do immediately.
Good. Because I have so many friends that have had their wheelchairs destroyed. I have been
Mm-hmm.
blessed every time I fly to not have an issue. Um, I fly Southwest because my chair is small enough that I can roll right onto that first
Mm-hmm.
aisle. Now they did change it. Now I don't know if they changed it back, but I know that they were changing it to where wheelchair users didn't get on first, like they were changing that. And it was like, well, that really stunk because I used to not have to be carried on, which, you know, that's kind of degrading for
It
somebody
Yeah.
to have
is.
to be carried on. I always that's why I flew Southwest is my wheelchair could go straight on. I could transfer, and then they take my wheelchair right then and there and put it underneath. And I've been really lucky with it not getting broke. But I know so many people to where
Yeah.
their wheelchairs, especially the $40,000-$50,000 wheelchairs, the
Mm-hmm.
electric ones, that have gotten damaged, and they're on vacation and can't use their chair.
Yeah. So
You
they're
know,
basically stuck.
Yes. And and who knows how much that vacation costs, to go wherever they go. And yeah.
Yeah, there's all kinds of rules about Southwest will also, if you tell them you have a disability, you can get a second seat. You pay $100 for it.
Oh,
It's
for your
guaranteed.
travel companion. Is that it?
No, for
Oh,
yourself.
oh,
And then you get after you complete your travel, you get the $100 back.
oh. Wonder why they're doing that. Wonder if that's what they're fixing so that you don't, because their whole that you don't necessarily get the first row anymore. Because it used to be you got that first row, which is bulkhead, which people,
Yeah.
you don't know how many people I have seen in just a foot brace, using a foot brace for their reason to get that
Yes.
front row.
My daughter traveled this year and she still got the bulkhead.
Oh, good. I haven't traveled I go cruising because I know I can access everything. I
Yeah.
don't have to do as much pre-screening, oh, can I get in here? I don't, excuse me, have to call all the places I'm going to and get special arrangements or this and that. I can just book my cruise and go. So that's, so I
That's nice.
don't travel by plane. And now when I go back home, I drive so that I have a car because I usually stay there for a month.
Mm-hmm.
So
And you need your car, right?
right, I like having my car instead of the rental and having to put hand controls on the rental and stuff. Because I went one time, I'll never go through Enterprise again. I called and I said I need hand controls. I'm a paraplegic. I get there and they get to give me a car, and it was a jacked up Jeep.
Oh.
Oh,
I looked at them. I said, "You put hand controls in that?" And they're like, "Yeah, that's what we have down for you." I said, "I just want an economy." "Well, we upgraded you." I said, "Well, I can't get into that." And they said, "Well, that's what we put the hand controls in." I'm like, "How do people get in there?" It wasn't a lift, like it wasn't like a truck I was like, "I can't get in there. I'm not strong enough to pull myself up into that seat."
Yeah.
So I
Who
then
is?
didn't have a car, and I had to depend on my friend to drive me around everywhere that trip.
Oh my gosh, that's so like who
I
doesn't
was
have a brain
I
to
was
think that one
so
through?
angry. I was like, "Well, can you move the hand controls into a different car?" "Well, we don't have one. We don't have anything else." And I'm like, unbelievable. That's what I think it was like one of those locations they sent it. That's what they sent them with the hand controls, because the hand controls are done,
Somewhere else,
probably
yeah.
off site somewhere. And
Debbie
Yeah,
said
you
that
should
she
check it
doesn't have.
on. I think it's under TSA. There's a whole. She was telling me all the different rules there are now.
yeah, I'm definitely interested to see. I know that they're working on doing seating, like for wheelchairs, that they can take their
Yes.
wheelchair like you do on a bus, and they just tie your chair down.
Yeah, they
I
have a
know.
limit how long they have to implement it.
Oh,
There's a
good.
deadline, and what my daughter was saying was they've actually had that as a availability and a possibility. But they just didn't want to do it. They didn't want to give up the seat or whatever.
Oh, well, yeah. There's, you put something like that in, that takes 2 seats away,
Well, except that they can actually do it like where they can pull a seat and put it in.
which is so smart, just like they do like your regular vehicle.
Uh-huh.
Like a lot of the vans, they just take the back seats out so that
Yeah.
the wheelchair can go. So it's pretty much the same thing.
It
It's
is. It's
not
just
that
it has
big
to
of
be
a
a little bit
deal
different on a
to,
plane, but
right.
yeah.
I mean, think about it's not that big of a deal to take a seat in or out, especially if they know it ahead of time. And when you
Yes.
buy plane tickets, 99% of the time, it's a planned thing ahead of time. And
Mm-hmm.
you'd be able to tell them, yes, I'm going to need an ADA seat
Right.
or the specialty. Well, just like on the ship, is it ambulatory, full ambulatory, there's different types, can you walk? They give you this type of room. If you can't,
Right.
if you're wheelchair a user, then they give you this kind, there's no lip to get into the tub and stuff like that.
Yeah, I took my mom, the only cruise I've been on, took my mom to Alaska on Holland America, and they missed that, but I call, in the reservation. But of course, I called like a few days ahead of time to make sure everything was under control. She wasn't full time in the wheelchair, but enough that it was iffy with her. Let's put it that way.
Right. She
And
needed it.
she needed it, and it
Mhm.
was like some days she could walk quite well, and other days no, I wouldn't have trusted her. But they upgraded us because they screwed up the reservation.
Oh, nice.
They were like, "Well, we don't have an ADA, but we have a bigger room that can accommodate a wheelchair and a refrigerator," because she needed that for medicine. So I was like, "Okay, that works. That works." She did have to step over a small lip on the shower, but that was fine. She did that at home, so because she wasn't a paraplegic, so she could do
Right.
that.
Yeah.
I thought that was nice.
That's mom that travels, she doesn't need the full, she's kind of getting to there where she has to take her walker into the bathroom and stuff, and it's too dangerous for her to lift it. But yeah, for a while she only got the I can't think what they call it, but yeah, where it doesn't have the 24-inch turning circuit or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, whatever the rules are.
They couldn't do a wheel. Well, this room was big enough. She could have done a wheelie in a wheelchair, but
No, but it needs the space for maneuvering too, right?
right,
Right. Mm-hmm.
right.
Big
That's the
difference.
problem.
Yeah,
You have
because
to-
they're like on some of the ships, I'm able to squeeze. It's so tight. I can squeeze though into a regular room, but I can go in just enough that the door closes, and then somebody has to reach around me and open the door, and I have to back out because I'll go over to my friend's room and I'll be able to get in that way. But then they come into my room and they're like, "What the? You're living like a queen over here."
Yeah.
'Cause I don't know what I mean. I was on one cruise prior to me being injured, and it was so long ago, and I think it was an inside cabin and everything. It was tiny from what I remember. Now, I mean, my room on the boat is like the size of, a regular hotel room. It's nice.
There ought to be some benefit, right?
Right, exactly.
Something.
Hi, Angela.
Hello, Angela.
Hi, Angela. All right. Well, I'm gonna screw. I've put all my well, I didn't put my snippet roll. I kept that. I didn't put none in here. I almost did, but I put some of the extras. I took what did I put? Here we go. From all the birds I cut out, I kept some and put it on this page.
That's pretty.
And
Oh, I love that. I want a bird punch like that now.
okay, it's a Martha Stewart. I bought it, I think, for $1. It's not Martha anymore. I got it used. Everything I have is used, and it works. I'm used and I work.
Wow.
Oh, and I did this. This is kind of a mini snippet roll. I just was more like a snippet. I just did some sewing and then I sewed it onto this page.
Yeah. But that's cute.
And it's filling up. It's starting to look so nice.
Yeah.
I think I have a little die that cuts little birds like that.
Yeah.
I know I have one that does crows.
Cool. I don't think I've got a die that does birds.
They're very little and easy to lose. Oh, you have like a punch. Yeah, that's you can grab that faster than a die.
Yes, and you don't have to pull your machine out and do the whole. And this I was able to snap.
Now I've added tassels to this thing.
Oh man.
Awesome.
And beads.
And
That's really a good gift.
Oh, he's gonna love it. He's gonna just be over the moon.
For sure.
Don't you love it when little kids are happy with something that you make?
Yes.
Yes.
And when they're not, you can see it all over their face.
Yeah, even if
it breaks
they
their
try.
heart.
Yeah. That's sad, isn't it?
Yes, it breaks your heart. It's like I worked so hard on that and I thought you would love it and now you don't.
You don't.
And then their parent or something or whoever's saying, say thank you. And it takes everything in them to say thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my grandkids, when he was 5, decided to make him a little superhero cape right before I was going out there for Christmas. And I made it and I grabbed some red cotton and I didn't look at it until after I'd already cut it that I just cut up $13 a yard Kona cotton.
Oh.
I was like, oh well. But then I gave it to him and the kid, he unwrapped this kit and he was jumping up and down. Mommy, Baba made me a superhero cape. Baba made me I got a superhero cape. I was like, yeah, that was worth.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, that's like when I made like elf slippers for my youngest grandsons, the two younger ones. I crocheted them and they had bells on the curled toes. And the youngest one ran over the house doing almost like a Russian dance, kicking and running.
Don't you wish you had video of that now?
So worth it. So very worth it.
Aww.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny. They can be so cute.
True. It's almost been 2.5 hours.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to do about 2.5 hours when I'm using StreamYard so that I've got it for whatever I need. So I think it's about time to call it a day today for
I agree.
this.
Yeah.
Well, I would like to thank everybody who is here playing. Anne and Becca and Beth and Miriam. Miriam lost her internet while we were
we got to see what she was gonna her awesome spool, for goodness sake.
Yeah. She
She made.
Yeah.
So let's just make you guys big quick and you can show what you did. And then we'll call it a day. What do you think?
That's perfect.
All right. Becca, I'm making you big.
Okay.
There you go, hon.
So snippet rolls was the game. The game was snippet roll. So here we go. I used a piece of brown paper and I did a napkin background. And then I cut out all these little birds out of trash in my trash can. And then I had some painty paper laying on my desk. And I just kind of glued them down.
That's very pretty. I love the way those birds look.
Yeah, some of
Oh,
them
that's
it
so
was
pretty.
painting paper that I had, and some of it was that trash from. It was a sticker. See, a sticker cardboard piece that comes. And
nice.
I cut that out, and then I rolled it up. And now it's glasses.
Cool. Very
And
cool.
that's about it. And then I already kind of showed you what I did in my book. And where's that page at? I used the extra. I made like a little page on my book. Some of the trash. Oh, and I also did I did a fabric snippet too, and I sewed it in here.
Lovely, lovely, lovely.
There we go.
Cool. Well, thank you. Thanks for coming and playing.
And thank you for having me. It's nice to talk to you again, Ann.
Nice to see you, Becca, and your beautiful work.
Thank you.
Okay, Ann, you're up, hon.
Okay, I gotta figure out how to show this. So I took a canning ring and put ribbons and lace, just looped it over for a little grandson who fell in love with art supplies. And then at everyone's suggestion, I added, can you see this? I added some beads to it and some tassels. And the idea is that he can take it and cut pieces off and have all this variety with hopefully not having too big a mess. So now it's like this at the top. Can you see that? And if I could, I'll try to figure out how to take a picture with it hanging up and post it.
That'd be cool. Very, very cool. That's lovely.
Very fun.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of ribbon and lace and yarn.
Makes me think that's what I should do with my lace instead of ribbons, instead of trying to have it in my drawer where I can't see it.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking. I might do one for myself for that very reason, because you can just see it.
Yeah.
And it's just a metal canning jar ring. That's it.
Yeah.
And I didn't paint it because why would I paint it when I'm going to cover it up?
You know, that way it's with you and it's not out of sight, out of mind, right?
Yeah.
So that's a great idea. Really.
I got a little carried away, but the child will have a lot to play with. So
he'll be 90 and still using it.
Yeah. Maybe.
That's okay too.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Ann. All right.
Thank you.
So I just was doing a little bit of play. I did a snippet strip with stuff out of my junk bin that, you know, I save all the scraps. Of course, I'll doodle on that or add focal points. Haven't quite decided yet. And then I decided to do a fabric one. So I just hand basted some fabric down. Now I'm doing some embroidery to keep it snipped down. And that's kind of all I.
Very nice. Yours are always very full, like Bess was very full.
Yeah, well, I have like bazillions of like little bits, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I use little bits for darn near everything. So, yeah, I'd like to thank, you know, the ladies who came and played today, everybody in the audience watching and conversing with us, and everybody in the balcony who's listening and doing their own thing. People who watch the replay, thank you guys so much. I hope we've inspired you to try doing a snippet strip, either fabric or bits of stuff that like Beth did. She's Miriam cleaned, no, who else? Anne cleaned up stuff from her floor to use. Somebody did. Anyway, people were picking up stuff off the floor to do this today. I had it in a bin and Becca used your trash can.
I did.
Like Pam from the Paper Outpost says, anything's an art supply unless proven otherwise. So that's why we're called the Feral Artist Group. We use what we have on hand. So thanks everybody for being here. Big hugs to you all. I will be going live at 12:45 on Tuesday, and we are doing scrap chunky cats.
Oh boy.
So that's it. Thanks, guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And Laura is coming on at 5 Eastern. No, 4 something. Check out for what her time that she's coming on. She's coming on later today. So hugs to you guys all, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.